a thank you to all of his supporters, and we're getting some kind of.
It's your phone.
That's my phone. All right, I'm going to just. The heads on the right are swelling with pride. Who's right or who's wrong? I personally don't think it was a smart move, but it was a very Trumpian thing to do, and I don't think it actually hurt anything. But what do you think? All right, 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Thank goodness that we have, the archives of social media video to document that particular exchange. All right. Let's see here. Tim, thank you for calling in and putting up with all my nonsense there for the last 90 seconds. You're on the air.
Hello?
Yep, you're on the air, Tim.
Yeah. Okay. So I worked out years ago with a Secret Service agent. These guys are willing to take a bullet for the president. And he was out saluting the people that came to support him. The last thing these guys are going to worry about when you are committed to a job, as my friend was, a virus. And those guys do not leave his side with or without a virus. They are exposed to it constantly. They're not going to leave the man alone. They are there to protect him. So I don't, the disingenuous left thinking that he had actually put somebody in risk. You put people in risk by being the president, the guys that protect them on a daily basis. And I doubt seriously if that was something that they were even thinking about.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Just by getting elected and doing your job, that's the risk, because that's what they sign up to do.
Exactly. They're there to keep the vacuum from losing the president, which I was alive when Kennedy was assassinated, and when Ronald Reagan was shot. I remember it very well. That's the danger right there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Hey, appreciate the call, Tim. Thanks a lot. Let's go to Raymond. Hey, Raymond, you're up next. You're on the air.
Yeah, I know. We keep saying that they'll take a bullet for the man, but look at it. We know it's a Trump thing to do, but at the same time, the rest of the world sees his face. There's been stupid rumors overseas that the man's dead. He can't talk, this, that, and the other. I know it's probably not the exact reason why Donald Trump showed his face at that moment, but hey, the world knows we're strong as always, and the stock market opened with a boom this morning, and we're safe. So I think it's a pretty good move.
Okay, well, I get that. Appreciate that. I guess, Ryan, that's a fair point, I guess, as he's saying, look, I'm here, I'm still feeling well, I'm doing the job. So yeah, to some degree, I can understand that argument. Of course, at the same time, it's still just a really Trumpian way to do things.
Well, I mean, not to deny that may have been one of the reasons he wanted to get out, but he has been releasing videos and stuff that I guess you could fake the videos. I've enjoyed the conspiracy theories over the weekend, because you always think that's sort of a thing that the right does, that the left's like, oh no, we don't ever engage in that. But all weekend it's been conspiracy theories ranging from he's dead to he faked the virus. This is all for press. I mean, it's just been ridiculous.
The Democrats gave it to him on purpose.
I was going to say that was my favorite, where it was the let's see if I can remember the conspiracy theory correctly. It was the debate stage crew was brought in from somewhere else because they had COVID, and it was intentional so that they would infect the president. But thank goodness, as we've determined, coronavirus can tell the difference between a Republican and a Democrat. And so Vice President Biden was not infected, but President Trump was, and First Lady Melania Trump was. There you go. What do you think, Chad? That's a great one.
The best conspiracy theory that I heard as well. I was like, yeah, that's the one. Let's go with that one.
I know. I think that was awesome. All right. So was that a show of strength, Chad, or was this reckless when he goes Corona cruising?
Honestly, like I said earlier today when we were talking off air, I kind of think it was a little reckless. But we know Trump. We know that, he sees
it's on brand.
He sees Biden out doing these press conferences and stuff. But let's be honest. I seen the crowd for one of them. It was like 20 people, if that. So, so I was like, it's like he's just talking to his staff members at this point. So you really have no rush to get out here and do anything. Like, you got a debate coming up for that you should probably be prepping for. You should probably be talking to your VP, because he has a debate on Wednesday that will be airing on the station. So those are things that you should kind of be worried about, and also worrying about your health. Like, we would hate for things to turn to the worst, just because you're trying to get out here fast. I've seen some real disheartening things online. Like, they're basically acting like Trump's not a human. They like literally are like bashing him and saying like they hope he dies and things like that. There are even reporters that's saying that, and that's like the most unhumane thing I've ever seen. Like, it doesn't matter of how much of a narcissist he is, no matter how many people think he's a racist. At the end of the day, he's our president of the United States. He's going through some things with his health. His wife is going through things with her health. They're being attacked on so many angles. It's like, okay, can we give this guy a break for once? Because he hasn't had a break since, well, I'm not even going to say a break. He hasn't had a good eye since he's became president. Like, as soon as he got in office, they were trying to impeach him. Like, come on.
Yeah. Ryan?
Well, this weekend, if anything became clear to me, if Trump's going to do what Trump does going forward, because obviously we're all concerned about the man's health, but then we're a month away from an election. So that's probably more on everybody's mind than anything else.
Yeah.
Coming out of this, I don't know if you guys have a feeling of the way the president's going to pivot from this, whether he's going to embrace, okay, I've had it. Now I'm going to say this about it. If he's going to change his messaging or whatever, I really think this is an opportunity for him. If he can stay on point, which he doesn't do, he says a lot of things. If he can transition this into the economy. Look, I beat this. We can beat this. Here's how we do it. We've got to open things up and just hammer that constantly. I was looking at a poll this weekend that said that the economy is still the number one issue for voters in this election. So I think that, to me, that's the way forward for him.
Yeah, and with us adding so many jobs on a regular basis, the fact of the matter is we are coming back.
Yeah.
There are pockets of the country that are still struggling a lot, but the reality is that we are coming back. The last I heard was we were at unemployment at 7.3, 4, something like that. And it's moving in the right direction. And to be fair, I think the actual unemployment rate is not a great measure, but it's one of the measures of how we're doing. The fact of the matter is more people are working now than they were at the peak of the panic, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, if you want to know what's most important to voters, I'm looking at this poll right now, of course, because that's all I do is look at polls, apparently. The economy is number one. Surprisingly, terrorism is and national security is number two. I don't think, though, that is talking about foreign terrorism anymore. I think that's talking about domestic terrorism, which both of those issues are strong for Trump. So that's got to be a net positive for him a month away here.
Hey, speaking of conspiracy theories, one of the things I want to get to here in a little bit is my only quote unquote campaign yard sign I've ever had in the front yard was stolen over the weekend. And so since this is 2020 and the way we approach these things is with reckless and baseless accusations, I think that I should tell the rest of the story and we should come up with our own accusations as to who done it. And we don't need any evidence because it's 2020. It's just how we roll.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to hearing what the sign was.
Yes.
Because that will inform my sudden opinion.
That's actually the best part of the story.
Okay. That's the best part. It really is. And again, don't worry about being informed. I mean, we're going to open the phone lines and I'm just saying, let's just do what everybody does on the right and the left and just lob, I should say, reckless and baseless accusations. I think that's what we should do it. All right. I'm Mike Ferguson in for Andy Frey. 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. The conspiracy theories on who took my sign, was President Trump showing leadership or recklessness? And Sam Page basically is saying, I'm going to grant you a little bit of the freedom everybody else gets. Aren't I wonderful? He's not.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Furnace tune-ups are recommended each year to keep your heating system running efficiently and extend its life. Schedule your furnace tune-up and safety inspection and get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com. Stewart's American Mortgage, home of the bagel loan, now the bank buster loan as well. Stewie is doing everything he can to contort Stewart's American Mortgage into a super customer service centric organization. Now, he's been doing this since the very beginning. He has been doing loans for 30 years, and he's the best in the business. He has the hardware to prove it. Across the country, he's been recognized for his customer centric service that he offers at Stewart's American Mortgage. But that's because you are at the center of this transaction. And when you call his cell phone number at 314-324-4440, or you text his cell phone number at 314-324-4440, and you say, hey, Stewie, I heard Annie talking about a way I can save on my mortgage, or I'm looking to purchase a home. How can the bagel loan help me? He's going to tell you how the bagel loan keeps you from having to pay all of those fees that other lenders are absolutely going to charge you for. And he's going to save you a ton of money in the process. 314-324-4440. Call my friend Stewie and get the process started today. NMLS number 226715.
Retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money, heard every Saturday morning at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Nearly every week, our team meets with clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion on your retirement plan today. When you work with us at the ClearPath Wealth Management Group, we're committed to providing you with guidance that's in your best interest. No exceptions. To request your free consultation, contact us at bobstockdale.com. That's bobstockdale.com. Again, that's bobstockdale.com. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Attention St. Louis homeowners. Are you looking to sell your house without all the stress? Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis can buy your house cash and close on your timeline. No commissions, no repairs, no appraisals, no showings, no headache. Call Chris now, 314-782-7000, or go online to chrisbuysHomesSTL.com to get a free no-obligation cash offer for your house. Behind on payments? The tenant stopped paying the rent? The house needs too many repairs? Not a problem. Chris buys houses in any condition and deals with any situation. There's a reason why Chris Buys Homes is the most trusted home buyer in St. Louis. Go online to get your offer today. chrisbuysHomesSTL.com or call 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000.
So when I do my lives for Brooklinen, I typically take what I would call a shotgun approach, which is especially good for Brooklinen because it's a shotgun kind of business. They are known for their bedding, the biggest online bedding company in the world, but they also do loungewear and activewear and totes and artwork and sleep masks and pretty much anything that you can think of for you, your body, or inside your home. Let me feature, though, towels. Towels was, I believe, the second thing they did after bedding. And you may say towels and go like towels, couldn't care less. But you really think about it. We're all pretty choosy and persnickety about our towels. And if you go stay at a hotel or you go stay at someone else's house or a cabin or a rental or something, and you're like, oh my God, these towels are amazing, or these towels suck, I might as well just use Scott towels. So the towels that we have are big and thirsty and soft and wonderful, and you're going to become addicted to them. Get 10% off your towels and anything else when you make your first order, plus free shipping when you use my last name, Glover, at brooklinen.com.
You can listen to 97.1 FM Talk online anytime. Just go to 971talk.com, where you can listen live and even rewind. Or download the app for your phone at radio.com. This is the Annie Frey Show.
Good afternoon. 12:43. I'm Mike Ferguson, in for Annie, but you get your Annie back tomorrow. Numbers here are the same, 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. So Ryan and Chad, I mean, I think we just kind of keep the phone lines open. People want to give us their thoughts on not even so much President Trump has COVID. That's obviously something I would hope all Americans could agree on, but I know that some don't. I mean, the week before this happened, and I'm not going to say a name because I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was over at the house. My wife and I are just talking to her, and the fact that Governor Parson tested positive for COVID, and he was at the time in quarantine, although he's been, I think, cleared to go back to the office because he never had any symptoms at all, and so he's gone through the process there. And this friend who's very liberal, she kind of said, haha, she goes, boy, if I could give it to anybody, I'd love to give it to Trump. And I just looked her in the eye and went, well, that's terrible. And, she's like, well, I guess I'm terrible. I'm like, you're looking at a guy who spent 9 days in the hospital with it. Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
Did you call her up this weekend?
No, she actually was over at the house the other day, too, a week or so later. And I just didn't bring it up. I mean, it's a little out of character for her. So she's not somebody who's like rabid about her politics. She definitely does not like the president, but that we don't break friendships over stuff like that. But you just see a lot of that's happening today, which is terrible. But yeah, Ryan.
Well, I get that when something like this happens, the only way that you know the man is as a politician. Well, in his case, you know him as a reality TV star a little bit, but obviously your relationship to him as an American is as the president. If you don't like him, your mind's going to go to what if he weren't the president anymore because he just got this virus. I get that. But you still have a responsibility to hold your tongue a little bit.
Yeah, you would think.
I get that it's going on in your head, but just let's be a little bit more civil.
Right. And I'm glad, Chad, for instance, that people who know where I'm coming from on things are comfortable enough still telling me what they think. I don't want anybody afraid to have a conversation with me. But they got to know that we need to have more of this. Hey, you really want to think about that? That might be a reflection on you more than it is about anybody's politics.
Absolutely.
I mean, we just went through this on the other side of the aisle with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I mean, when you heard that she died, your thought wasn't the first thing is, gosh, I wonder if she died peacefully or how, your thought was, how is this going to affect the political discussion? Obviously. But it doesn't mean that we all just got on the air and went, wow, good thing she's dead. You just don't do that.
Some people did say that.
Yeah.
Right?
I hope that there wasn't on this station.
Okay.
No.
Now let me provide some balance because I was at an event and didn't have my phone with me. And once we got done, I checked my phone and saw all of the, I guess that was a Friday night that it was announced. Was it Friday or Saturday night that it was announced that Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away? I think it was
a Friday night. Yeah.
And so at the end of this event, I pull my phone out and I look at it. I'm like, oh my goodness, guys, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. The first thing I heard from somebody was good. Wow. And I looked up, I'm like, dude,
hang on.
I went, a Supreme Court justice just died. Seriously?
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of, I guess, a little proud of myself that I kind of had the same reaction to both. I mean, listen, I really wanted Ruth Bader Ginsburg to retire. I didn't want her to die.
I had my first thought was, okay, what has she done? I was like, okay, I'm sad that she passed away, but let me actually know her as a Supreme Court justice. Let me know her works. Let me know who she was as an individual before I go reposting everything I see because she passed away and things like that, because that's really not going to help anyone. It's really probably going to make her family even sadder because they just see her all up and down the timeline. So I found out what she did as a person and how much of an impact she had on this country. And I was like, oh yeah, that really sucks that she passed away.
She's the reason that women can get credit cards now.
Well, if you go back far enough, and I mean, there were on the Supreme Court, I disagreed with a lot of what she voted on. I'm fine with women getting credit cards, just for the record, in case anybody wants to take that out of context. No, I'm fine with that. She was very far to the left, but elections have consequences. She was appointed, and this is how it goes. But there are some things that should rise above politics.
Yeah.
And we're losing this basic human decency. And then we like to tell ourselves, Well, we'll have it right back after the election. We'll come back together. I don't think we will.
Yes, it's some of the stuff is like too far gone. Like you're gonna dehumanize humans because of the position or the side they choose. It's really not cool.
Yeah. Ryan, can we come back and then I'm going to tell you the story of the missing yard sign in just a moment. But have we crossed some kind of Rubicon to where we're not going to be able to look back and say, you know what, we disagree, but let's go get a drink. We disagree, but let's go get lunch together. I think we have gotten to the point where we have not we don't look at our ideological or political opponents as opponents. We look at them as enemies at this point.
Yeah, I think that we've crossed that Rubicon, as you put it. But I'm also going to make the bold prediction to say that actually we will come back from it. I don't think that this is permanent. I think that we're in a moment in time that everybody's showing their cards, everybody's showing their teeth, and we're going to get worn out by it. There's no way that we can keep this up and maintain the union forever. And so my prediction is that we do get past this election and then it does calm down.
I hope you're right. Okay, so let me tell you the great yard sign caper that happened. I'm driving into the station here this morning and I look, I'm like, wait a minute, where's my yard sign? It had been done stolen over the weekend. It's the only quote unquote campaign sign I've ever had in a yard ever. And all it said was any functioning adult 2020. That's what my yard sign said. And if you want to see a picture of it, go to my Twitter page at AVP Radio Show. And so here's what I propose. I propose that you call us now here at 314-241-9797. And let's come up with the whodunit accusations. And since it's 2020, since this is a presidential election year, I think we need to remain consistent in how we handle these things. And let's just throw out some baseless and reckless accusations. So I'm open to those.
Okay. I'm going to make the first one and say that a Trump supporter stole that.
Okay.
Was that your first thought too?
It was not my first thought.
Because he's the man in office.
Right.
He's the person that seems to be the target. Not that you meant it this way.
Right.
But he would be the bigger target of saying that he's not a functioning adult. And therefore, the most insult would happen from a Trump supporter.
I see that as well.
See, I thought somewhat of the opposite. I see Trump supporters as gathering in front of my house and protesting me. But even though I'm
those
not,
are Biden supporters that'll do that.
Well, I don't know if there are enough of them, but see, where
Not in Missouri,
where I live is an incredibly deep blue area. I mean, incredibly deep blue.
Well, you didn't say that, Mike.
Well, I live in.
This is like a 60 Minutes documentary. It unfolds as you watch it.
Exactly. I mean, it is. There are BLM signs and those signs that say we believe this and all this kind of liberal stuff, and Biden and no on Amendment 3, all of these just really left-wing signs everywhere. So I told my wife, I said, well, this is just one of the things of living in a really liberal area. And she said the same thing you said, Ryan. She goes, well, maybe it was a Trump supporter. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think so, but I'm open to more conspiracy
Maybe
theories.
someone took it because they wanted it to be in their yard.
That's option C, is that sign is so damn funny. I want it.
Or maybe you took it just so you'd have something to talk about today.
I didn't think about that. That's a good one.
I don't think you can steal from yourself.
That's
You
true.
still have the sign. It didn't go anywhere.
They're like, Mike, did you check in the backyard? Maybe you put it there.
Maybe you were sleepwalking.
That's
I'm going to amend my position, though. I'm going to amend my position and say, now that I know those facts, and I haven't heard as much, and maybe it's just because of where we are, I haven't heard as much people stealing Biden signs.
Right.
People steal more Trump signs, so maybe it was a Biden supporter.
It could very well be. I mean, again, there are all kinds of options here. Let's go to who we got. Tim. Hey, Tim, you are on the air. Tim, I understand you have a story about some signs being stolen too.
Yes, I spent like $20 on one of the Trump campaign signs on his website for my grandmother. She's 80 years old. She can barely walk. She has a walker. She's the biggest Trump supporter I know. And she lives off of Sulphur Spring in Manchester, and not even 2 days after she had it, just sitting on her front porch in her flower bed, someone stole her sign. And she was so distraught by it, I eventually bought her a Ring Video doorbell. And then instead of getting another yard sign, I bought her one of those campaign banners where you wave around at a rally, and she stuck it in her window. So I'm hoping no one throws an egg or breaks the window. I was pretty bummed out. I'm like, I'm out $20 and my grandmother now feels bad. So just stop stealing yard signs, people. It's not fun.
Right.
People pay money for these things, and I don't care what side you're on. Just stop stealing them.
Totally agree with that, Tim. Appreciate the phone call there. I mean, I know that I'm sure it happens on both sides. It just seems we hear a lot more about the Republican ones getting stolen.
Yeah.
Not to say that it doesn't happen the other way around.
That much time though, like
Right.
I drove past that sign. I'm going to turn back around and go steal it.
Yeah, my wife is on this like Facebook group with all the neighbors. I would say it's open to all the neighbors, but it's actually all the wives, and they just message back and forth all the time. Hey, I got a package that's addressed to you. You want to come get it? And I saw a creepy guy walking around. Watch out! All this kind of stuff that happens.
That's just neighborhood watch.
That's neighborhood watch. And everybody at one point was like, we love that sign. That is so funny. And this is from all the liberal friends or liberal neighbors. And they love the sign. So it could very well be that somebody just got jealous and didn't want to order it themselves.
Okay. Fact-based question.
Yes.
Who do you think supports Biden more, young people or old people?
There's a lot of young professionals or like I say young, I'm talking 20s up to my age, late 40s. I'm gonna say young.
Who do you think is more likely to steal something, young people or old people?
Oh, totally young people.
Well, I think we're narrowing down the demographics of who is likely to steal that sign.
Chad does not like that
I
answer.
take offense to that. No, he's right. He's right. When someone's right, you can't really argue it. I mean, you can
still be offended by it.
Yeah, you could try to throw a little salt in the game, but when he's right, he's right. You just have to go with it.
All right, let's sneak in another call here. Let's talk to Tony. Hey, Tony, thanks for calling in. You are on the air. Just so you know, I got about 45 seconds.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I think the whole deal with Trump is, it's a free country. He's a great man. He's the man we need to keep in there. And I also want to say that I am from a small town in mid-Missouri, and I went down to Branson last weekend, and that's all you see down that way, going down 44 south. Nothing but Trump. You mentioned Joe Biden and Branson, and they'll run you out on a rail.
I would not be surprised at all. Appreciate that call, Tony. All right, we've got the news coming your way here in just a moment. 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. I want to bring you up to date on what Sam Page is graciously allowing you to still do again in St. Louis County. Is it something that you should be appreciative of? I'm going to argue, no, don't say thank you. And I definitely want to hear more of the great sign caper conspiracy theories on this. Who is roaming around Richmond Heights looking for nonpartisan or bipartisan signs to steal? I definitely want those conspiracy theories. Remember, no facts are needed on this. Just recklessly throw them out, man.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Lakeside Renovation and Design is formerly known as Lakeside Exterior because they are the trusted name in James Hardie siding. And when it comes time to, do the major facelift on the outside of your home, you do not want to go with the cheapest person that you find because you don't want to have to redo it again in a year or two. And you don't want to have the most expensive person in the business that's charging you more just because they can. Lakeside Renovation and Design is very keen on providing an amazing service, the best in quality, and a fair price. And you can find out more online at lakesidерenovationanddesign.com. The beautiful work that they have done on so many homes across St. Louis has people asking all the time, where'd you do your house? And the answer is Lakeside Renovation and Design over and over again. You can also ask about the 18 months interest-free financing that is available. It's going to make this process and project a little more affordable over about a year and a half. If you've got a home project, interior or exterior in your future, get it done with the folks who are going to do it right. LakesideRenovationandDesign.com.
If you are looking for a home warranty, please check out my friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. That maintenance part of their title is extremely important. Most home warranty companies out there want to deny your claim due to lack of maintenance. They claim you haven't been taking care of your equipment over time, so they don't have to help you out. Well, at Upkeep, they completely eliminate that worry by sending their own technicians out to your home 4 times a year to do the general maintenance for you. And if you ever need service done, they will either repair or replace your equipment, and that work is also being done by an Upkeep employee. It's not a third-party contractor trying to upsell you. Their plans are extremely affordable. You can even divide your payments up over the 12 months of the year. And when you use code DGS, you get $100 off your service. To check out all of their different home warranty plans, go to their website, upkeepstl.com. That's upkeepstl.com.
Mark Cox here, inviting you to join Thomas Helbig, the official financial advisor of my show, for the last Protecting Your Retirement educational event of the year. It's Tuesday, October 6th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 855-755-1555 to reserve a seat. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you concerned you won't have enough income in retirement to live comfortably? Or do you wonder how long your money will last? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older or recently furloughed, you can now roll over your 401k tax-free and protect your nest egg from any market losses? If you're nearing retirement or already retired, you don't want to miss this last event. We're taking all precautions and following the CDC guidelines to keep everyone safe and healthy. We also have the biggest room available to keep our social distancing. See you Tuesday, October 6th at 6:30 p.m.
Protect your retirement nest egg by joining Thomas Helbig at the Frontenac Hilton Tuesday, October 6th at 6:30. Call 855-755-1555 or go online today at retirementkey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
The president remains hospitalized. Lisa Brady, Fox News. But he continues working and tweeting while being treated for coronavirus at Walter Reed Medical Center. His brief ride waving to supporters there yesterday evening has been criticized by some as jeopardizing the health of his Secret Service drivers.
The White House Deputy Press Secretary Judd Deere in a statement saying the appropriate precautions were taken in the execution of this movement to protect the president and all those supporting it, including personal protective equipment. The movement was cleared by the medical team as safe to do.
Fox's John Roberts outside Walter Reed. Meantime, Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany has tested positive, announcing that she has no symptoms but will begin the quarantine process and working remotely. Joe Biden is campaigning in Florida today, telling reporters he is still willing to debate the president as scheduled next week if the experts say it's safe. New York's governor is closing schools and coronavirus hotspots around the state, including parts of New York City, where the mayor urged him to act.
Hundreds of schools will close in 9 zip codes in New York City amid rising cases of coronavirus.
You will see people die if we don't do more enforcement.
Governor Andrew Cuomo on the request from fellow Democrat New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, and in the coming days making a decision on houses of worship.
If the religious leaders do not agree to abide by these rules, we will close the religious institutions.
No decision yet on thousands of non-essential businesses in New York City, which Mayor de Blasio also proposes shuttering. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Cuomo says schools in the hotspots haven't been testing enough to identify possible outbreaks, and he could no longer guarantee they were safe. In France, the number of people in intensive care units with COVID tops 1,400 for the first time since late May. Bars in Paris are closing tomorrow as cases surge among young people. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No. Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about sunshine and light winds this afternoon. Beautiful Monday afternoon. 65 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. Upper 50s fairly quickly this evening. 49 for the overnight low, so not quite as cold. Tuesday, sunny. Warmer in the afternoon. Here comes that warm-up we've been talking about. 79 for the high. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sunny. Temperatures each day near 80. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Vitae Foundation is excited to welcome Matt Walsh, the Daily Wire's young, influential, conservative voice, when he comes to St. Charles for the Vitae Foundation's annual pro-life event. It's coming Thursday, October 29th at the St. Charles Convention Center. And guess what, folks? I'm going to be there to MC. I'm so excited to MC this event with Matt Walsh. I've had him on this show once or twice over the years, but I've never actually met him. So I'm really looking forward to hearing him as he advocates for the life of the unborn child. And also the importance of compassion for the woman who is in that position, who needs to have that life-affirming research, the science, the facts that go behind these really, really difficult moments in time. Help me embrace these women by supporting Vitae Foundation. It is such a worthy cause. Reserve your seat today for the October 29th dinner event by going to adsforlife.org. That's adsforlife.org.
Hi, this is Lance Drury. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an attorney. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
97.1 FM Talk and the Dave Glover Show are celebrating 20 years on the air, featuring great moments like this, brought to you by Michael's Flooring Outlet.
I decided I want fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, my receipt had a timestamp of 6:44 p.m. I was not told there would be a wait for chicken, but I'm like, okay, 20-minute wait. I can handle this. I'm at KFC on a Saturday night. Obviously, I don't have that much going on. I can do this.
Got bigger problems.
I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait. So it's 7:21 p.m. So I go in and I say, excuse me, I ordered my food about 30 minutes ago. And they're like, did you order the chicken? At KFC.
Did you order the chicken?
Did I order the chicken?
DGS twice. Listen. Mike of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Proud to be Dave's first live endorsement and being part of so many sweet memories for the past 20 years. Thank you again, St. Louis and the Dave Glover Show. 97.1. Rock on. Check me out. IGotFloored.com.
Are you looking for ways to increase the value of your business property? Well, repainting is one of the most cost-effective options. Let the expert team at CertaPro Painters help protect your investment with professional results. You can trust CertaPro Painters to get the job done right and safely. Plus, each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They are a local business you can support. Contact them today at CertaPro.com and discuss your project and get a proposal. CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Seminar now online live with America's hypnotist Mark Patrick. Live online seminar for the greater St. Louis area will be held live Saturday, October 17th. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
I feel like I'm being haunted by a pair of headphones. Everywhere I go is a creepy ad for headphones I looked at one time. I hate feeling like I'm being watched. I downloaded DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. Take back your privacy with DuckDuckGo.
97.1 FM Talk. Sean Hannity, Dave Glover, Annie Frey, Brian Kilmeade, Mark Cox. That's the lineup backward. Reminding you that you can rewind anytime at 971talk.com. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
1:08 in the afternoon. Mike Ferguson in for Annie Frey. Don't worry, Annie's going to be back tomorrow. But good to be with you today. Couple things that are on the radar here, and we're going to go back to the phone lines in just a second. Of course, the big news all over the country is President Trump busted out of the hospital for a little bit to do kind of a drive-by and wave at a lot of his supporters outside Walter Reed Hospital. And everybody has some punditry opinions, and they look very seriously into the camera at MSNBC and Fox and CNBC and everywhere else, and they make very clear assessments so we know what to think of that, instead of us just going, that was a good idea, or that was a bad idea. Good thing we've got Rachel Maddow and Sean Hannity and everybody in between to tell us what we should be observing and feeling about that. Thank God. I'm just saying. All right. Also, still ahead here, just comments. I really do want to know what y'all think about this. County Executive Sam Page in St. Louis County says, in all of my graciousness, I am going to release some of these lockdown orders and crackdown orders on you and your businesses. But you know what? If you don't keep behaving yourself, then we may have to go into another lockdown or restriction. No, you don't, Sam. You don't have to. Period. So my argument is, nobody say thank you to Sam Page for giving up a little bit of his control, at least right now, especially when he's dangling the "don't make me pull this car over again" kind of thing. And I'll give you more of his quotes. Also, if you got any great Bob Gibson stories, maybe next hour we can do that. I actually have a Bob Gibson story. The AP doesn't like us using the word riot to describe riots. So we'll get into that. Of course, in this one as well. You heard about this, Ryan, over the weekend in Olivet. A 78-year-old man drove into the Starbucks there on, where was it? It was right off of, I think it was right off Olive, and actually killed somebody in Starbucks. A woman's there just waiting to get her order at the counter, and several people were hurt, and one woman was killed. We don't know exactly what happened or why he crashed, but we know it's just a tragic, awful situation.
That was my first question. Is we assume this was an accident, right? He wasn't trying to drive into the store.
No idea. We do know his age, but that's all that we know right now. The police and everybody else are still investigating, so they haven't said what happened. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, people of any age, but in particular when you're that age, who knows what happened. So we'll get what details we have still ahead to you, and maybe get your thoughts on that. But I am still interested in the conspiracy theories and the reckless and baseless accusations. And that's what we're looking for here, are reckless and baseless accusations of who stole my campaign sign out of my yard that said any functioning adult 2020. I think it's only fair, because that's how we do politics now in this country.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with the idea that it was a young person, because I have, again, no facts to back this up.
Right, which we don't
just
want.
My assumption that young people are more likely to steal in general than old people.
The old ones can't run as fast.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
If they're younger than you, they can run faster than you.
Hey, I'm a 48-year-old catcher with 1.5 knees on there. They could probably run faster than me, but we'll see. That was actually, and I'll go right back to the phone lines, one of my games on Saturday, I guess it was. I get on base, I get a hit, and I start to take a lead off, and the pitcher whips around and throws it over to first base. And I told the first baseman, I'm like, I have 1.5 knees, and I'm older than everybody else in this league. Where does he think I'm going?
Oh, I thought you got picked off. Maybe.
No, he didn't pick me off. I wasn't that far off base. I'm just thinking, dude, you're 23, and I literally have kids older than you, and I'm not going down there to second base unless this guy behind me gets a hit. That just ain't happening. But anyway, I appreciate the flattery, I guess. All right, let's go to the phone lines here. Hey, Mike, thanks for calling in. You are on the air.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Hey, you had somebody calling about a Trump sign being stolen there, Sulphur Springs in Manchester. And I thought it was funny. There was a local business that had their Trump sign stolen from his front yard. So now he's taking a billboard out at 141 and 44 right on the hill, so everybody has to see it.
Oh man, have you ever seen Mike? Have you ever seen those videos? I think about 4 years ago, those kind of went. I hate the term, but went viral. where some guy was having all of his Trump signs stolen. And so he ran a wire up through it and just plugged it into the wall. So anybody who grabbed it got shocked. Like, so maybe
or
that's
mousetrap.
Mousetraps. Yeah, there was that one. And then there was another guy who was having his signs run over. So what he did is he mounted them on this great big plank and just had all these nails sticking up. And so the next time somebody ran over, the next time they ran over it, they had flat tires, about 300 feet down the road.
Well, if you want to take out a billboard for your missing sign, I'd be willing to throw in a few dollars.
There we go. And I think it's a message that resonates with everybody is any functioning adult 2020.
Absolutely.
That. Thanks a lot. All right. 314-241-9797 and 866-455-9797 as well. Let me real quick get your thoughts on this, Ryan, and then we've got plenty of time to get back to the phone lines here. So early this morning, County Executive Sam Page says he's kind of loosening his grip on people in St. Louis County as though he's actually controlling people, because I don't know about anybody else. I live in St. Louis County, and unless it's Grubhubbed or delivered with Instacart, I'm buying everything in St. Charles County right now. Me and my buddies or my wife or anybody goes out to eat or something, we're doing it in St. Charles County. I'm just not messing with St. Louis County anymore.
I'm going to take a long shot in here and say that this is election related. You're not going to see if he does remove restrictions, there's no way that he will put them back before the election. I'm going to make that prediction. And one of the reasons is because and we can get into this some other time because it's really deep dive data stuff. But I looked at every special election that's happened this year in 2020. Well, and since March anyway, because everything changed in March, to see if there's any sort of direction or anything that I could find were people leaning Republican, were people leaning Democrat this year. The only thing I could find from all the special elections is that people seemed to be voting against restrictions.
Yeah.
That wasn't necessarily Democrat or Republican. It was just it was in states that had the deepest and hardest restrictions. People tended to vote more, and they voted more red.
Yeah, and the thing is I think you're right about that, Ryan. I mean, the reality is I don't think Sam Page has to worry about the upcoming election. I mean, even though he's maybe the most hated politician in the area for good reason, he's going to win the race. And I know that makes everybody mad, but the reality is that the Republicans really could have had a shot at this had they recruited a serious candidate, but they didn't go out and do it. And they don't have somebody who can credibly challenge him. That's just my assessment. I know people are going to be mad at it, but that's just kind of the reality of the lay of the land. But it is just a 2 years. It's the remainder of Stenger's term. Boy, that Stenger, that sounds like a million years ago. And so right now, St. Louis County Republican Party, you blew it this time. You blew it a couple years ago when you didn't have a candidate running for prosecuting attorney. Did you learn your lesson? And are you out recruiting credible candidates who can fundraise and actually do the job this time? We'll see. We'll find in 2 years whether or not they're learning their lesson on this.
I mean, is it possible that you could be surprised?
I don't think so. Not in this one. I mean, I think if they had a serious candidate.
I mean, maybe. I know enough about the race to know what you're referring to, but I don't live in St. Louis County, so I don't get the vibe that's going on right now. But
it's just such a deep blue area. But Republicans have been able to make races close when they really put everything they had into it and did it right. It was it's Rick's dream almost beat Stenger all those years ago. So it's not that it's impossible, but I just think it's unlikely, and it's frustrating. I mean, there are going to be lots of people voting for a guy they don't like just because he has a D behind his name. But here's part of that press conference from this morning. This is Sam Page saying, you know what, this is not the time to let our guard down.
But even as we see this progress, I must point out, this is not a celebration, and it's certainly not a time to let our guard down. I know this has been a long road, but this virus is still very much among us. The only way forward is following our medical experts' best advice. If we fail in our efforts, we'll be forced to enact more restrictions to take steps backwards. And none of us want to see that.
How arrogant is that? No, you're not going to be forced to enact more restrictions, Sam. You're just not. If you just simply believe that politicians can somehow protect people from a virus,
It's just the height of arrogance on this. Guess what? The rates aren't going crazy in Jefferson County or in St. Charles County. They're not that much different than St. Louis County. Look, they're just not. So, that just to me is phenomenal arrogance.
I know in Illinois, we always talk about the fact that we're using case positivity percentage as our guiding light, which is just ridiculous. Is that the same in St. Louis City and County? Do you know?
Well, it's been kind of, the variables are messed up because you've got so many more people who are getting tested that it's tough to compare it to, like, say 6 months ago or whatever the case is, because we have so much more testing that's available, which is great. But we've also had some cases where, the way a county is reporting something is different from another county. But the more testing we're going to have, the more, positives we're going to have. And remember, that's not even, to me, the biggest question. It's not a matter of how many positive cases are there. How many people are being hospitalized. The reality is there are probably millions of people in this country who've already had it and didn't even know it.
Well, that's why I say that's a terrible metric to be using. I didn't know if everybody was using that same thing. It sounds like they are.
All right, phone lines are kind of lighting up right after this break, Ryan. Let's go get some of those phone calls here. We got a lot of things on the table. Love to know what you think. 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. I'm Mike Ferguson in for Annie Frey. Connect with me on Twitter at AVP Radio Show. Stands for American Viewpoints.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
I live my life like there's no tomorrow.
Did you know that Medicare does not pay for a nursing home? And did you know a semi-private bed in a nursing home costs more than $7,000 per month based on the national average? Are you prepared to spend that kind of money? Because believe it or not, 70% of seniors age 65 plus need some sort of long-term care in their lifetime. And these odds only increase with age. I want to invite you to join Beck and Lennox for a virtual session on how government benefits may be able to help pay for assisted living or nursing home care for yourself or for a loved one. At this, you're going to discuss how not to go broke in a nursing home, which top government programs may be available to you. How about how widows can get help from the VA for long-term care, and Medicaid benefits for assisted living communities that 99% of people don't even know about. They're going to review the qualifications for government benefit programs, share real-life cases from their clients, and correct common misunderstandings of these benefit programs. Plus, a Q&A at the end of the workshop. A free 60-minute private attorney consultation will be offered. If you want to know more about this, find out about these two different events, October 13th and October 20th, online at beckelderlaw.com.
Are you registered and ready to vote? Find out and register if you need to at vote411.org. Don't miss the deadline. Have a plan to vote on November 3rd or know the deadlines if you're voting by mail. Vote, make it count. Go to vote411.org.
Hey guys, Clever here for my friends at Window World. And let me just take a moment to say thank you to Window World. I'm not sure how many of the 20 years they've been with me, but most of them. They are great people, just great guys, and have been very good to me and taking care of thousands of DGS listeners. So Window World, thank you for the bigger part of 20 years with the DGS. What I love about Window World is the simplicity. Honestly, it's just they make it so easy. There are other replacement window companies in town. We're one of only 2 in the nation that have a good housekeeping seal of approval. Any award that you can win within our industry, we have won. The prices are very modest, very affordable. We give you a lifetime warranty and a lifetime guarantee because we know that our windows are built like a tank. You can depend on saving about 1/3 off your heating and cooling bills 12 months out of the year. Mention me for 18 months, same as cash, 314-993-1800 or windowworld.com, 314-993-1800, windowworld.com.
Hey there, it's Billy with Inside Out Tax. I used to work for the IRS and I help people every day get to the bottom of their tax problems. What most folks don't know is that the IRS by law only has 10 years to collect a tax debt. Once this date expires, the debt is removed. If you have a tax debt that you'd like for me to look at, then give me a call to set up a free 30-minute consultation at 636-495-5700 or reach out to us through our website at insideouttax.com.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. With all the bad news out there, it's easy to miss the good news. Mortgage rates are at historic lows, making now a great time to buy or refinance a home. My customers are locking in the best rates in a generation. Now is the time to use the equity in your home to cash out for a remodel, pay off high-interest credit card debt, or rid yourself of the dreaded PMI. During these volatile times, you need an experienced local loan officer working for you. Call me, Michael Mohan, at 314-336-6050. I'm here in St. Louis, and when you call, you talk to me. Whether you are purchasing or refinancing, I want to help you save money on your home loan. Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, 314-336-6050. Online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, NMLS 250353224143.
Every day, Ameren works to deliver reliable energy throughout the region to on-the-go families, new parents, in-the-know grandparents, busy students, night owls, weekend warriors, and more. But did you know we also have options to help manage and track your energy, like paperless billing, outage notifications, pick a due date, and so much more. So no matter who you are or how you use your energy, there's an option that's right for you. Learn more at ameren.com/options.
More people are landing on 97.1 FM Talk every day. It's St. Louis's radio destination for information with perspective. 97.1 FM Talk, the place for ideas. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Coming up on 125. Good afternoon. I'm Mike Ferguson. I'm in for Annie just for the day. She'll be back tomorrow. This thing, Ryan, with the yard sign. If you're just joining us, I had a so-called campaign yard sign. It was a funny one, but it was stolen over the weekend. So we're having some fun with that, even though it kind of did tick me off just because somebody stole something out of my yard. But that's kind of hitting a nerve with a lot of people. So we're getting some calls on that, which we're going to go back to in just a moment. By the way, just wrapping up this whole thing with Sam Page saying that we're going to loosen some of the restrictions. And I just want to real quick go over what's being loosened because, right now he just loves an all-powerful county government. And so what's going to happen is starting Wednesday, businesses can have 50% occupancy as opposed to 25% occupancy. And they're actually going to allow you to go get a drink at the, soda fountain at the restaurant or the convenience store or whatever the case is. The mandatory mask mandate still in place. I mean, I guess I've seen a lot of places enforcing it, but then again, I'm not mad at you if you want to wear a mask. I just don't. If it makes you feel safer, you're at a higher risk group. Good, fine, go ahead. It's not about the masks to me. It's about the government wanting to micromanage your face and telling you the politicians are protecting you from a virus that is so incredibly stupid. So I don't spend that much time in St. Louis County anymore. If I want to go do something with my expendable income, hey, St. Charles County, congratulations. You've been getting my money lately. St. Louis County, where I live, you ain't getting squat right now. You don't like it? Call Sam Page. And now he's saying that some high contact sports like football are going to be allowed for games, which, by the way, thanks the season's almost over. But schools or leagues are going to have to give a proposal to the county health department to specify how they're going to screen everybody, order quarantines. They're going to have to basically ask permission, which, by the way, Sam Page doesn't have any authority over school districts. So, I understand that they don't want to get into an intra-governmental fight. But Sam Page has just assumed basically control over every business and nonprofit and church and everybody else. And then, as you just heard in that soundbite a little bit ago, he says, you know what, if we don't do this right and you don't, stick to everything, then we may have to be forced to enact more restrictions, which you don't. You don't have to be. You're not forced. You may choose to do it. And people can comply or fight back or whatever, but you're not forced to do it. So that's where we are starting on Wednesday. There might be a couple more people in the restaurant. There might be somebody getting a refill of Pepsi at the thing. But other than that,
no, you're not allowed to do that.
You're not allowed to do refills.
The
the workers at the restaurant have to do that for you.
Oh, okay. Because the coronavirus understands the difference between somebody in the Wendy's uniform and the guy who just wants to get a refill on his drink.
Well, no, because people, I believe the reason is because people take drinks and then put it right back up
I
there.
see. So they just give you a new one, new cup.
I've not seen this done.
Yeah,
Actually, I saw it done at Bread Company, and they got you a new one each time,
which is fine. I mean, that's fine. It's it's frustrating. Right now, the coronavirus is not stomping all over St. Louis County businesses. Sam Page is.
It's not local news, but it could become, because it's related. Did you see what happened in Michigan with the Supreme Court and Governor Whitmer?
Yes, I did.
A tremendous victory for personal freedoms, which, I'm reading the story. It's that she's exceeded her amount of time that she can declare an emergency, which has to apply. I mean, I know it's the Michigan Supreme Court, so it's not setting precedent for other states yet, but we've seen this happen a lot, where if one court decides one thing, other courts will see that and say, oh, well, that's been decided. Not that it's our precedent,
right?
But, it's becoming more popular to side on that side. So we may see that more.
And I've got to read into her response to that. But from the headlines that I saw, which is kind of dangerous to base a comment on, she actually basically said, well, I'm going to keep cracking down because this is what I think is going to do. And so I think she's either going to fight it or she's just going to kind of keep doing her thing, and we'll see how it ends up turning out.
Yeah, it's both. She's going to do both. Which the problem with it is, though, that businesses are in such a precarious spot with all this stuff.
Yeah,
because they may look at this, especially this case, because there's a Supreme Court ruling now in Michigan. They may look at this and say, well, there's been law decided, but then the governor still has the power to go after you financially. So you put a business in a really tough spot, because they're saying, well, I want to open. I see that the law is on my side, but if the state is going to use its power to come after me financially, do I want to take that risk and lose money fighting it?
Yeah, exactly. All right. And so you got thoughts on that? Give us a call here as well. But let's go back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago, because it really kind of struck a nerve with people. It's kind of funny because it's not funny to me because I spent money on the sign and got stolen over the weekend, but it's kind of funny.
Where did you get the sign, by the way?
I just looked it up online. I saw a picture of it on Twitter or something, and I thought that is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So I just did a Google search for the sign in my yard, said any functioning adult 2020. And I just typed in any functioning adult 2020 sign, and one popped up and it had all kinds of reviews. So I knew it was a real company, and I ordered it. And about 4 or 5 days later, I had it and stuck in my yard. And over the weekend, somebody stole it. So what we were kind of having fun with here is, I don't know who took it, obviously, but in consistence with 2020 election arguments, I'm just kind of inviting everybody to give some reckless or baseless accusations, because that's how we roll in 2020.
One of those that we haven't thrown out there yet that I do want to put on the table, I'm not saying I believe this, but it's possible, is that it was a deer.
It was stuck in the ground pretty hard.
Deer are strong.
They are very strong. That's true.
End of argument.
All right.
Wiggins is right.
Sold.
Stop taking calls.
Sold.
No
All
more
right.
calls. We have a winner.
All right. Let's go to the phone lines here. Hey, Tom, thanks for calling in. You're on the air. Do you have any baseless or reckless accusations we can add to this?
Oh, absolutely. I know who got your sign.
Okay, who?
It was confiscated by the St. Louis District Attorney's Office, Kim Gardner, because that line of thought has been on the blacklist along with those police officers. It's a parallel blacklist for that type of thought, because you're demanding a functioning adult would impugn her ability to fill a political office.
I love how you think, Tom. That's perfect. Tom, thanks
Thank you very much.
Have a great afternoon. Appreciate that. I like that. That's another wrinkle we didn't think about.
Kim Gardner's going to come into the county, though.
Could be.
I think she stays in the city.
To be fair, I'm only like 3 blocks into the county. Maybe she got lost. I mean, McCausland and Skinker are the line. Yep. I'm like 3 blocks off of that.
Why don't you just give your address to everyone out too, Mike?
Well, that's a long area there. That goes from over U City all the way down to South County.
Yeah.
Look,
but I'm
what's
not
your
far
social
from-
security number?
All right, it's 123. No. All right, it's 314-241-9797 866-455-9797. Let's go to who's this? Jeff. Hey, Jeff, thanks for calling in. You're on the air.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
I got a suspect for you.
All right.
Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot took it.
That seems as reasonable as any of the other ones so far.
Right, exactly. All kidding aside, though, this is a little off your guys' topic, what you're talking about, but the child sex trafficking that's been going on for I don't know how long ever, I guess. One of the things that COVID's done is made this a lot more convenient for the pedophiles and all the other sickos that are running around doing this. And I know Trump had a big part in trying to help with putting a curb on it, or at least trying to stop it. But the one thing, it seems real prevalent to me that the reason why a lot of people are freaked out about Trump picking this person for the Supreme Court is they're afraid that Trump's trying to build walls on the border, and a lot of the places he's trying to build these walls are where people are trafficking people through, where these sex traffickers are trafficking people through, and you never hear about it from the media.
Well,
and it drives me nuts. But
yeah, Jeff, is this you're not taking any of this from this QAnon stuff, are you?
No. This is far from that. Me and my wife are foster parents. And we've been foster parents for a very long time, and I've dealt with this numerous times, and I've spoken to Border Patrol agents that say that our borders, the reason why they want open borders is because it's not a joke. It's the human traffickers, which they're calling them smugglers, immigrant smugglers, but they're human traffickers, and they're selling kids and everybody else. And they want that border open so they have a continuous flow. It ain't got the QAnon stuff. That's stuff
that just
that's
muddles
all
the
that
waters.
conspiracy.
Yeah,
But,
Is
but it's an epidemic. I mean, it's an epidemic, and there are kids getting snatched every day, and they're being sold on the internet.
Yeah, see, the thing is, Jeff, though, is that the facts are that they're not. There's about 300 cases a year of kids being snatched up in the United States. I mean, that's still way too many. It's 300 too many. But like, there are people claiming hundreds of thousands, and it's making it harder to protect kids. I mean, it happens, but it's actually, this is the safest time in American history to be a kid in this country.
Well, the one thing you're missing, though, is the fact that there are kids that are foster kids, homeless kids whose parents have passed away and had no one to go to, and have been lost into the state system. And we're not just talking about America.
Right.
I'm talking about worldwide. This isn't just an American thing. This is like a worldwide epidemic that is, I mean, if you've seen what I've seen, you'd understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the numbers could be that way worldwide, that's for sure. And I'm going to try to sneak in one more call, Jeff. I do appreciate that.
Okay.
I'm not trying to minimize that it happens or that's
It's
an
a
issue.
problem.
It definitely is. Matter of fact, it's kind of convenient, I guess, that Jeff said that. On American Viewpoints this past weekend, it aired right here on 97.1 FM Talk on Sunday morning. One of the segments that I had to do with this and how that's
where you got your numbers.
Right. The conspiracy theory group that's talking about this are making it harder for those who are trying to protect the kids, because it really does happen. But you got this just QAnon craziness that's scaring.
Don't piss off Q.
I'll piss off Q, whoever Q is. And they are making it harder for those who are actually in the fight, because they're scaring like regular people who just see the headlines and 800,000 children are swiped away. They're getting shipped in Wayfair furniture shipment. I mean, just weird stuff. And you got people who are actually in the fight, like it kind of sounds like Jeff is right now. And these people are saying, would you please stop? If you let your kid walk to school 2 blocks, they're fine. there's not a guy in a van who's going to run up and snatch him off the sidewalk. It's just, you've got a better chance, my guest actually said, of getting hit with lightning in your living room than that actually happening statistically in this country.
Doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Not well, because there may be somebody who gets hit with lightning in their living room. I don't know, but it's not to make fun of the issue. It is a real issue, but I'm saying is let's keep our eye on the ball and not get caught up. And as far as the wall, I'm fine with a wall at the southern border. I've got no issue with that. We do know that, remember, human trafficking isn't just sex trafficking. It's a lot of it's labor trafficking as well. So human trafficking, we automatically think of sex trafficking. It is that, but it's also going to be the other as well. It is a huge issue, but let's make sure we're dealing with facts on it is all that I'm saying on that. All right. Look, we've got another call coming in. Hang on a second. Looks like we've got another possible suspect in the great sign caper as well. I want to hear what that is. 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. I'm Mike Ferguson, in for Annie Frey.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Stop anxiety with hypnosis?
That's right. I'm Mark Patrick, been called America's hypnotist. Millions suffer from unwanted anxiety, anxious feelings for no reason, or even panic attacks. I can help. Attend my live online End Anxiety with Hypnosis seminar from the comforts of your own home. Look, I know you've tried everything under the sun, alcohol, pills, programs, and nothing has worked to manage your anxiety. My program is designed to work. My seminar is designed to eliminate unwanted anxiety, stress, negative thinking, increase your energy, and improve your sleep. So join the over 50,000 that attend my programs every year. End Anxiety Seminar, only $49.99, 100% guaranteed. That's right. End your struggles with anxiety or get your money back.
Plain and simple. Join Mark Patrick's anxiety seminar and eliminate unwanted anxiety, stress, negative thinking, even panic attacks. Guaranteed or your money back. The live online seminar will be October 10th for the St. Louis area. You can sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com. Free yourself from the pain and suffering of anxiety. markpatrickseminars.com.
Hey guys, Tony Colombo back with you for my chiropractor, Dr. Ed Ernstrom at Ernstrom Spinal Rehab. You've heard me talk about how great Dr. Ed has been for me and my pain in my back and my migraine headaches. So Dr. Ed can help you in many, many areas. Doesn't have to be your back, doesn't have to be the headaches. If you have something that's been bothering for years, or maybe you recently suffered an injury or were in an accident, and you have knee pain or foot pain, shoulder pain, Dr. Ed can help you in all of those areas. For me personally, it's lower back pain and, as I mentioned, migraine headaches. And I didn't even know that Dr. Ed could help me with the migraine headaches until I met him a couple years ago and found out that something like 80% of headaches start in your neck. And so the treatment that he can provide, not only the chiropractic treatment, but the laser treatment, the rock tape products, all of that stuff can help you and me with our headaches as much as our back pain and more. So if you are ready to stop being in pain, learn more about Dr. Ed on the website, I'mYourChiro.com.
Selecting a financial advisor is one of the most important decisions you will make heading into retirement. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money every Saturday morning at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Choosing a financial advisor is a critical step in planning for your retirement. You want to find an advisor you can trust is working in your best interest with the experience to do the job well. Providing guidance solely in your best interest is foundational to our team's approach. And with over 90 years of combined experience, you can have confidence we have the depth of knowledge to help you navigate important financial decisions. If you're retiring in the next 5 years or need a second opinion on your current plan, contact us today for a free consultation. To schedule your free retirement planning consultation, contact us at bobstockdale.com. That's bobstockdale.com. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Celebrating 20 years of the Dave Glover Show on 97.1 with the DGS's greatest hits. Brought to you by Michael's Flooring Outlet.
What? I can't ever tell if you have me on or not. So then I just kind of shift around and, la, 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 la. Yeah, I'm in a different room.
Sue, are you there?
Hello?
Can you hear us, Sue? Sue, can you hear us? Sue.
This is so weird. I
Sue.
swore I could
Yes.
Can
hear.
you hear us?
Yes. What? I can totally hear you.
I wonder
don't know.
if Lulu chewed through the wires.
She did not.
Sue,
What?
maybe she can call in. We'll go without her for now.
I'm right here.
We know.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that didn't occur to me.
DGS 20. Listen. Mike of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Proud to be Dave's first live endorsement and being part of so many sweet memories for the past 20 years. Thank you again, St. Louis and the Dave Glover Show. 97.1. Rock on. Check me out. IGotFloored.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers indoor air quality, water heater, and AeroSeal duct sealing services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
The Dave Glover Show.
It's not just that I disagree with you. You are not allowed to hold your opinion. That's what bothers me in America right now, from both sides.
Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
As I mentioned a week ago, the Department of Public Health has been working diligently with athletic directors and other stakeholders in youth sports to build a path back toward games and competitions for high contact high school sports such as ice hockey, football, and basketball. Today, I'm announcing that path. Any school district that wants to return to high contact high school sports must submit a safety plan to the Department of Public Health.
That's County Executive Sam Page from St. Louis County. Here's another option for a path back. Hey, Sam, get out of the way. Mind your business. All right, I'm Mike Ferguson. It is 1:44. I'm in for Annie Frey. Annie will be back tomorrow. The number here is 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Here coming up in the next hour, a couple other things. Obviously, over the weekend, dang it, 2020, Bob Gibson as well. Not just Lou Brock, but now Bob Gibson. So if you have any Bob Gibson stories, be sure to be ready to give us a call. I actually have one that's really cool. It's one of those where I'm like, do I talk about it? Because it just sounds like a bunch of name dropping, which I guess it kind of is, but I was just in a really fortunate position a couple years ago. And I just want to go ahead and share that story. If you have any thoughts, of course, on, Sam Page saying, we're going to graciously allow you a tiny bit more freedom. But, for this sport, you got to ask all of our permissions and everything. And, of course, kids from other counties around the area, they're able to compete. They're able to do what they want to do. Scouts from colleges are looking at them right now. St. Louis County high schools are basically not going to be eligible for the state championships this year, period. There will be no state championship from St. Louis County. And I know there are people to say, but we're in a pandemic. Listen, there is very little, if any, difference in St. Louis County as from Jefferson County or St. Charles County or Warren County or anywhere else when it comes to COVID-19. And all that's happening is that businesses in St. Louis County are just getting kicked in the teeth over and over and over again.
Maybe we already have this data. I'll look into it, but we'll certainly at some point we'll get a massive amount of this kind of data on what has been the impact of the shutdowns, whether it be in states that decided to fully shut down versus states that didn't, or I would like to even see county by county within states to see what have all these shutdowns done anything, and if so, what, and was it worth it?
They've my guess is what you're going to find, Ryan, is what they've done is permanently kill off a lot of small businesses locally.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. We know that. Yeah, we know that already.
The ones that were not lucky enough to be deemed essential, like their larger chain competitors, were able to be deemed. And lest anybody thinks I'm just a partisan who's just bashing Sam Page because he's a Democrat. I'm not. I'm bashing his decisions, but his decisions would not be allowed if it were not for the way that Governor Parson wrote the emergency order in the state. And if Governor Parson lifted that emergency order, Sam Page would have no authority to do what he's doing.
Yeah, I want to point out that there's a common thread here, and I'll point out Michael's comment on our Facebook page. It says businesses over people's lives. That's a common that's a common criticism. I don't think that I mean,
It's not
obviously,
true.
That's not true. That's not the motivation.
Yeah.
But I that's why I said I want to see the data, because if we find that counties that closed completely and shut down all their businesses, we find that their economies are worse, but that the hospitalization rate, the case positive rate, the death rate has basically been the same, or they slowed it down, but they didn't end up really stopping it and it didn't matter. That will be the key to finding out who handled this thing correctly.
Right. And also, there's still the question that says, okay, if everybody panics, does that mean that we throw out our economic and personal freedom and even constitutional rights? And that's what's happened is people have gotten so scared. They just say, government, do something. And when they're willing to take away their own freedom because they don't trust everybody else, they just want you to take away everybody else's freedom to make you feel safer. And that's a terrible precedent to have, not just legally, but in our mindsets as well. Listen, if you are at a higher risk or you're scared of coronavirus, I'm not telling you not to be. Believe me, I don't want you to go through what I went through back in March when I had this thing and I was in the hospital for it. So I like to think I've got a decent perspective on this when I say that I want you to take it seriously, do the common sense stuff, but I am right now more afraid of the government overreaction and the disintegration of any sense of community that we've got over a virus, over something that, yeah, it can be bad for some people, but right now our rush to do something, do anything, is far worse than the actual virus itself, in my opinion.
Well, you just said it right there. All of the health restrictions that we're talking about, and it always just becomes as a mask debate. Right. It's not just that. All the health restrictions, I don't know who is against them. I mean, maybe there are people, fringe people who, walk through Target yelling, take off your mask or whatever, like we talked about last time we were on the show.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the conservative position is not that people are against masks and washing hands and being careful and protecting your fellow man. It's they're against the government doing it.
Right.
It has to be something that people willingly do, because in this country, our government has not been given that power. And there's reason for that beyond a health scare. It's because there are lots and lots of things at risk here beyond just this moment.
Yeah, that's a great point to make, because if you want to wear, I'm not mad at you if you want to wear a mask. I mean, there are plenty of people I know who say, you know what, I'm a little worried about it. I know the mask isn't going to stop it, but it might reduce my risk or whatever the case is. That's fine. Nobody I know. Well, I take that back. I do know some people that have turned this into a mask versus non-mask debate, and that's silly.
It is silly.
In my opinion, it really is about the government rules. There are private businesses who have just said, you know what? We think our market feels better or safer if we require them, and so we're going to require them on our private property. That's a property rights issue.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't like it, respect. Then if you respect, if you don't want to wear the mask, respect the private property rights. I mean, before the mask mandate went into effect, I remember I had a haircut appointment, and I went in, and the guy's like, "Put a mask on." I'm like, "That order doesn't start for 2 days." No, that's our rule. Well, it's his private property. How bad did I want the haircut? And so that was the choice. You respect the property rights of it. And if somebody wants to wear a mask, don't scream at them that they're sheeple or something like that. They may have a high-risk condition you don't know about. They may have some elderly parents or some immunocompromised kid. Just leave them alone. And the same thing, if somebody walks around without a mask on, like for instance, I've had one of the top pathologists in this country tell me, "Oh yeah, Mike, you're good for probably at least a year because you're so full of antibodies, that you couldn't hurt anybody if you tried right now. Next year, maybe a different thing. We know this is going to mutate and evolve, but right now, I'm the safest guy in the room." And so if you see me walking around, yeah, precisely. I don't want you to go through what I went through to get there, but it's one of those things where, don't look at me like I'm the Walking Dead coming up trying to bite you and get you into the zombie club.
And you're not going to say, "I'm okay, I already had it."
Yeah, well,
that's nobody's business.
Right, exactly. I'm not going to walk around going, "Hey, I've already had COVID. Give me a hug." I'm not going to do that. But, the way that we are disintegrating and breaking down how we treat
Breaking
people.
news.
What do we have here?
The president is
Oh, yep.
leaving Walter Reed Hospital tonight at 5:30 our time,
Yep.
Central Time.
Yep. Trump. Yeah,
Okay.
we're there. It is, that announcement happening right now. Good catch.
6:30 Eastern. The president will be leaving Walter Reed Hospital. Does not say where he's going.
No.
But it just says he will be leaving the hospital 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central.
Or whether there'll be more quarantine and all this kind of stuff. But the point is that at this point, we've all decided to wield government power against each other if we're scared of what the other person is doing or might do. You remember we demonized each other when somebody dared go out of their house, when we were all put under pseudo house arrest by Governor Parson with a statewide shelter-at-place, stay-at-home order. And then locally, when that was lifted, and there were other counties and there were areas around the states, both Illinois and Missouri, that still tried to keep that going on. And by the way, when they tried to do that in St. Louis City and St. Louis County, the stay-at-home order, that people didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
As they shouldn't have. They should have ignored it.
I do want to. There's a bright side to this, and that's when I see the Supreme Court of Michigan. I'm bringing it back to that, I know, but when I see an order like that come through, it gives me hope because, as we've said, we get out of 2020, we get past coronavirus, and all of a sudden, all of these emergency orders that people have used, these are going to be working through the courts for a couple of years.
Yeah,
all these orders will, and so when I see one that comes through so soon. And it's on the right side of saying, no, you've exceeded your authority by using this Emergency Powers Act beyond what you can use it for. When we start limiting those things, that's really good news for the future of the country, because beyond coronavirus, people might look at that if we didn't limit it and say, oh, I could apply these emergency acts to all kinds of different things. And when we start saying, no, you can't, that's really good to have that defined.
Yeah, there isn't and there shouldn't be but I'm scared clause into the laws and the constitutional restraints on government. That should never be there. And the idea that anybody can just write an executive order and suddenly regulate businesses out of business, tell you where you can go and where you can't, what you can buy and what you can't, which businesses are approved and which are not, is not what we want to be the new normal at all.
Yeah, Michael on our Facebook page says, I agree with, I'm kind of, I don't agree with Ryan's point, but my main objection with the COVID-19 restrictions, lockdowns, and mask mandates is that they were imposed by the government. It should be up to each individual and business on what precautions to take. That said, if we're going to say, yes, that it's not the government's job, it's the people's job, then all this, we talk about all the social pressure, that's all fair game.
Yeah,
you can have all the social pressure you want from celebrities and whoever yelling at you to wear a mask. You can not like it, but that's all part of what a free society can do.
Well, exactly. Like, for instance, even before these orders came down, there were a lot of churches, for instance, that were saying, you know what, we don't feel good with this. We're going to set up a camera. Let's go to Facebook Live or YouTube Live or whatever the case is. They didn't need government to tell them that. But once government orders a church or a synagogue or a mosque or anything closed because we said so, then all of a sudden you're into First Amendment territory. Whereas most of these organizations, these bodies were doing it because they may have been in an area they were worried about their parishioners, and they don't need the government to say that. And if they decided to have church, then go to church. Anybody can decide that they are not going on Saturday or Sunday and staying out of there because they're worried about their own particular health. And that's what I hope, like you said, as these court cases work through, I hope that that's what gets decided, and we kind of reinforce restraints on government instead of reinforcing loopholes that open that up. All right. The AP says we need to change how we talk about riots by not calling them riots. Yeah, I'll explain just ahead. And also, Bob Gibson was taken from us over the weekend. Let's get some of your Bob Gibson stories.
Hurry up and call to reserve a final available seat at the final Protecting Your Retirement educational event with Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group. For people who are getting real close to retirement, you've got to shift your strategy. Previously, it was save, and ride the waves whenever the market went up and buy when the market went down. This is what you need to do when it comes to nearing retirement. You need to shift that strategy, and Thomas Helbig has all of the tips and tricks that you're going to use to help you make sure that your retirement's going to work as hard for you as you worked to save it. It's on Tuesday, October 6th. So that's tomorrow at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. And you do need to call to reserve your seat. This is what you need to do. Call this number and mention the Annie Frey Show when you do and get your spot reserved. There's going to be social distancing and everything implemented, so no need to worry about that. 855-755-1555. That's 855-755-1555. Online at retirementkey.com.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income in just 5 payments? You heard right. In just 5 payments, set up a six-figure retirement cash flow for as long as you live. There's a retirement crisis in America because the pension system of old has been raided and destroyed, and Social Security is already running out of money. Most Americans are shocked to find out they need over $2.5 million to have $100,000 in retirement. A new approach is required to solve this crisis. That's why this revolutionary 5-pay retirement program was released, allowing everyday Americans to use bank money to create a retirement cash flow without relying on Social Security or pensions. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it accelerates the amount they'll have at retirement or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement in just 5 payments, call Wealth Education Group now at 1-800-283-9595 to see if you qualify for this brand new program. Plus, as a free bonus, you'll get the 5-pay retirement guide and video. Call 800-283-9595. 1-800-283-9595. That's 1-800-283-9595.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Fasten your seatbelts, folks. We'll be preparing for takeoff.
Limu, how cool is this? Your first time flying. Oh, I didn't mean... Listen, Limu, you might not be able to fly, but you do something even cooler. You tell strangers that Liberty Mutual customizes their car insurance so they only pay for what they need.
Sir, do you have a certificate for your service bird?
Liberty, 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 liberty. Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
Napa know-how. At Napa, we've teamed up with AAA to save you 20% online or in store. That's why they call us the Savings Dream Team. Okay, we're the only ones calling us that, but it's true. Your AAA membership can save you 20% at Napa. So we're basically superheroes with the most specific power ever, saving you 20%. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. 20% off regular retail prices with valid AAA membership card. Offer ends 10/31/20.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
The president's ready to go. Lisa Brady, Fox News. He just posted his own update. Fox's John Decker is live in Washington.
President Trump tweeting, "I will be leaving the great Walter Reed Medical Center today at 6:30 p.m. Feeling really good. Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life. I feel better than I did 20 years ago." A briefing on the president's health is scheduled for this hour. Meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany and 2 of her deputies have tested positive for the coronavirus, with McEnany saying in a statement she will now work remotely and begin the quarantine process. McEnany gave a briefing to reporters at the White House on Thursday, hours before presidential advisor Hope Hicks was revealed to have tested positive. Lisa?
Well, meantime, Joe Biden is on the campaign trail in Florida and facing an allegation from the Trump campaign.
The Trump campaign says that even though Biden pledged to pull all negative campaign ads, almost 100 of them ran on Sunday in swing states, including an ad that tells voters they've got a chance to put the darkness of the past 4 years behind them. And top Biden surrogates are still speaking critically of the president.
Fox's Peter Ducey in Miami. The search for compromise on a new coronavirus relief bill isn't over yet. Fox's Jared Halpern has this live.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin spoke for about an hour this morning. The Speaker's office says a spokesman for Pelosi says the two discussed the justifications for various numbers and plan to have another phone call tomorrow. So far, Democratic leaders in the White House have been unable to reach a bipartisan consensus on additional coronavirus spending. Last week, the House approved on a party line vote a $2.2 trillion bill. The White House says its offer has totaled about $1.5 trillion. Lisa.
Jared, thanks. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about sunshine and light winds this afternoon. Beautiful Monday afternoon. 65 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. Upper 50s fairly quickly this evening. 49 for the overnight low, so not quite as cold. Tuesday, sunny. Warmer in the afternoon. Here comes that warm-up we've been talking about. 79 for the high. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sunny. Temperatures each day near 80. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a right fit for you. And check out the podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane.
Are you sick and tired of your janitorial company not meeting your expectations? Call Jan Pro of St. Louis, the commercial cleaning company you can count on. Have you had it with your cleaning guys not showing up? Call Jan Pro of St. Louis to get the job done. The Jan Pro cleaning and disinfection process guarantees satisfaction for a wide range of industries and budgets through quality, technology, and a measurement for a consistent clean every time. Tired of no follow-up? Call Jan Pro of St. Louis, 314-989-9977. Trusted, clean, guaranteed.
Hello, everybody. This is Sean Rimmerman, your host of We're Having a Senior Moment, every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 97.1 FM Talk. Are you concerned about a loved one, someone who's not always as safe, as secure, and as independent as possible in whatever setting they call home? Give us a call at 314-965-9600. We'll be happy to help you and them to live their best lives possible. Remember, 314-965-9600.
Hey, Chris here to talk about CertaPro Painters. Are you still putting off that painting project? Well, I was too until I reached out to CertaPro Painters, and I can tell you the whole process was worry-free from the initial meeting to the final cleanup. CertaPro Painters brought a level of professionalism and efficiency that is unrivaled. Plus, they treated my property like it was their own. And get this, each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. That's right, they're a local business you can support. Schedule your free estimate online today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick Weight Loss Hypnosis Seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds. And we feel great.
Stop smoking or lose weight now. Live online interactive seminars with America's hypnotist Mark Patrick for the greater St. Louis area, Saturday, October 17th. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
What's holding you back from solving your tax problems? If it's cost, know that the longer you wait, the more expensive it'll be. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Tax resolution doesn't have to be expensive, and waiting year after year to resolve your tax problems can be extremely costly. Interest and penalties on your tax bill won't stop until you take control. So take the first step now and hire a tax resolution attorney to help you. Call me, Lance Drury. I'll tell you in advance an affordable fee which includes costs and expenses that works for your business and family. Your first visit to the Lance Drury Law Firm is free and confidential, so you have nothing to lose. But the longer you wait, the more interest and penalties you'll pay. Call me today. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
It's Decision 2020, and Radio.com has you covered. Take Mark Cox, Annie Frey, Dave Glover, and any show on 97.1 wherever you may roam. Stream the station live at 971talk.com. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love
this American ride. Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
A little bit later on this hour, do you have any Bob Gibson stories, either your favorite memories from his playing days or his retirement days? Maybe you had some personal interaction with him. I'm actually fortunate enough to have a Bob Gibson story. We'll get to those a little bit later on. I'm Mike Ferguson. It is 2:08. We in the media, Ryan, pay attention. I used to pay attention very closely to the AP's style guide, because that dictated how we covered things. And that used to be something everybody took seriously. And it's not so much anymore. I think they kind of went off the rails about 4 or 5 years ago, just getting really politically correct and woke and all this kind of stuff. And they've done it again.
How do you feel about Oxford commas?
Oh, I'm part of Team Oxford comma.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's the facts are hard. I'm just telling you, it is. I am part of Team Oxford comma. All right.
I'm not. We can fight about that later.
I'm on your side, Ryan.
All right. So the AP style book was amended, I don't know, about 4 days ago or something like that, to discourage the use of the word riot to describe protests that are, riots. Instead, expanding the definition of protest to include violent demonstrations. So let me go into the weeds just a little bit about what they're wanting to do. And I'm reading from their statement. Use care in deciding which term best applies. A riot is a wild or violent disturbance of the peace involving a group of people. The term riot suggests uncontrolled chaos and pandemonium. Yes. And then they go on to say, focus on rioting and property destruction rather than underlying grievance has been used in the past to stigmatize broad swaths of people protesting against lynching, police brutality, or for racial justice, going back to the urban uprisings of the 1960s. So calling a riot is somehow stigmatizing rioters.
There's a key phrase in there. I'm sure you've picked it out, that it's undermining their purpose.
Right.
Or
yes.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, undermining the underlying grievance.
Yeah, there you go.
To me, it's describing actions.
Yes.
If I don't care what it is that you're protesting, and I still firmly believe, although I disagree with the organization Black Lives Matter almost up and down the line, they do have a couple of points that are valid, though. There are things that they bring up that should be talked about at the very least.
That black people's lives matter?
Well, yes, but you don't need the Marxist organization for that. But when they're talking about things like qualified immunity, when they're talking about, some of the reforms that we should be talking about, it's getting drowned out by the rioters. Now, I still am pretty sure the majority of the protests that are happening around the country actually are peaceful, but they don't make headlines. But
doesn't make good television.
Doesn't make good television at all. But we're focusing on all of these. Not that there's a shortage of them. I mean, hundreds of riots and otherwise violent protests are happening around the country. But at that point, it doesn't really matter what the peaceful protesters are doing. They're getting drowned out. And my challenge to them has been for months, if you actually want to have real change, then you had better denounce the rioters. And they just don't do it. For the most part, a few of them have. But back to the AP here, they're saying that you should instead use the words like unrest, because rioting, if calling a riot could, I guess, in their opinion, turn people away and not be sympathetic enough to the rioters in this case. And this is just kind of the latest in a string of AP changes that hopefully result in people not paying as much attention to the AP style book, in my opinion. I don't know how closely you look at that, Ryan.
Sorry, we're we're talking about the doctor's press conference a little bit here, which is apparently either coming up or is
happening right now.
Happening
Hey,
right
do you wanna,
now.
You want to go to it quickly?
That's up to Mike.
Yeah, we can do that.
So he may not entirely be out of the woods yet. The team and I agree that all our evaluations, and most importantly, his clinical status, support the president's safe return home, where he'll be surrounded by world-class medical care 24/7. I'd like to bring Dr. Dooley up to review some more specifics.
Good afternoon. Just a brief update this morning. As Dr. Connolly mentioned, the president continues to do very well. His vital signs this morning were notable for a temperature of 98.1. His blood pressure was 134/78. A respiratory rate of 17 respirations per minute. His heart rate was 68 beats per minute. And his last oxyhemoglobin saturation was 97% on room air. He currently does not endorse any respiratory complaints. And aside from our evaluation with the multidisciplinary team this morning, has maintained a full schedule, ambulating and working on the White House medical unit. I'll now turn it over to Dr. Garibaldi to again discuss therapeutics. Thanks.
Hi, good afternoon. And again, I just wanted to echo the sentiment of what an honor it is to be part of this wonderful team here at Walter Reed. Yesterday evening, the president received his third dose of remdesivir. He tolerated that infusion without difficulty, and his kidney and liver function continued to be normal. Our plan is to give the fourth dose of remdesivir this evening before he goes back to the White House, and we've made arrangements to deliver the fifth and final dose of his treatment course at the White House tomorrow evening. He continues on dexamethasone, and again, the plan for today is to continue to be up and out of bed, eat and drink, and work as he is able. And I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Jason Blaylock, who's an infectious disease specialist and the chief of medicine here at Walter Reed, to give some updates on infection control. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I just want to say what an honor it's been to be part of this medical team behind me and to care for the president. Since the president's arrival at Walter Reed, he's received medical management that remains in line with national clinical societal guidelines for treatment of COVID-19 infection. In addition, both myself and Dr. Wes Campbell have worked very closely with various laboratories in the area, state-of-the-art facilities to include USAMRIID and RARE on obtaining advanced diagnostic testing to really inform the White House medical team of both the status of the president as well as his ability to transmit virus to others. Also, we have worked very closely with the Walter Reed team to ensure that we are looking very closely at infection control prevention strategies and the right posture so that the president can safely return to his residence. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Conley, who will answer any final questions.
All right. So we've got a kind of a group of doctors right now in Washington, D.C. It looks like they're outside of Walter Reed right now. And Donald Trump, President Trump, has received another dose of some of the specialized medication. He's not done with COVID-19. He still has COVID-19. He's still contagious, but they like where his vital signs are and everything. And Ryan, when I was sent home from Missouri Baptist Hospital back in March, I guess it was, they told me that I still had COVID-19. So it's not unusual for someone to still have the virus when they are sent home. They just, once they know that you are not in extreme danger of, things going terrible and God forbid, somebody dying. But that's what they're talking about is explaining why. And this is President Trump's medical team that's given this press conference right now. And so they are explaining where he is right now. I guess why he's heading out of the hospital tonight at about 5:30 our local time, assuming everything stays on schedule. We don't know yet whether he's going to go back to the White House residence or go somewhere else. If he's going to be quarantined, I would suspect that he probably will. But we'll get more details throughout the afternoon.
So how does it take about 14 days before you can get a negative COVID test?
I don't think that's the length anymore. That's the way it was just as recently as 3 or 4 months ago. But now we have these rapid tests, and the testing has gotten so much better. Of course, we want 2 negative tests is what a lot of
in a row
places, 2 in a row, negative test. But I don't think you have to wait that long anymore. I think you can get it sooner.
I guess my question is how long before, and this is, I don't know if you'll know this because it was in March and things have changed
a lot. Yeah.
But how long before he could theoretically test negative for coronavirus?
I don't know because I don't know when he was exposed to it. I think that's what they're still trying to figure out is probably when he was picked up, because we do know that once you're exposed to it, you could test negative for who knows how many days, 3, 4, 5, 7 days.
Well, Kaylee tested negative, and then she tested positive today.
Right. Yeah. So it's there's so much lag time between the two. And then with the fact that the majority of people don't show any symptoms or show such mild symptoms that you don't automatically think COVID-19, there's a lot of factors. So I don't know if we can accurately answer that question.
Yeah. See, if it's 14 days, which I don't know, I really don't. But if it is, then there's no second debate. I think that'll be called off, which is why I'm asking the question. He's clearly doing all of the normal work that he would normally be doing. He's just not making public appearances other than in his car. He's not doing rallies and stuff. So those things are canceled. But aside from that, the business of the day is still getting done. That's why I'm just asking in terms of the debate. That's really the only thing it's going to affect.
Yeah, I think, and honestly, I don't want to open up a can of worms, but after the last debate, I don't know if there's a point to having another debate.
I think the opposite. I would rather see another one because I think both candidates know that they stumbled out of the gate pretty hard, and both of them will know that they need to actually have a discussion this time. And I think Trump would win that discussion. That's what's so disappointing for me as a conservative.
I don't see Joe Biden keeping up with Donald Trump in a debate.
I don't either.
Anyway, which is why I was just amazed when I'm watching that debacle. I'm thinking, why are you jumping all over Joe Biden? Just let him stumble.
Exactly.
He will fall flat on his face. He will forget something. He will get confused. Just let him do it. And Donald Trump never gave Joe Biden a chance to completely flop.
And he was starting to do that whenever there was more than, 1 minute of speak time without interruption. He was starting to fall. Everybody knows that. I mean, Jim Carrey playing him over the weekend on Saturday Night Live, that was the main joke, is I've got the beginning of 46 thoughts in my head. That was the best line of the whole thing.
All right. It is 2:20. Give us your thoughts. President Trump says he is headed out of the hospital tonight. He's only been there, 3 days or something like that?
Yeah. Too
fast? Is he being reckless with his health? I say if him and his doctors are okay with it, I'm fine with it. 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. I'm Mike Ferguson in for Annie Frey.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at ThrottleNet.com. So it's crazy time at ThrottleNet. They are IT geniuses, but they are a little bit nutty. Right now, they will pay you $250 for a conversation about your IT support because they value your time during the crazy pandemic. They'll give you the first 30 days for free, no charge for all of their services. And then they'll pay you another $1,000 if you decide to leave in the first 30 days for your trouble. They don't anticipate that you're going to leave, but if you do, they'll shake your hand, they'll put you back where you were, and they'll write you a check for $1,000. It is completely no risk, and they reward you for your time and for your effort. They are the best IT shop in the city, named number 1 5 years straight. They are good guys. Like I said, they are geniuses at protecting you, but they can communicate. They don't stare at their shoes. They look you in the eye, and they tell you what you need to know. ThrottleNet.com/971.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del will show you how to retire in 2 to 5 years. Your age doesn't matter. Turn off the pundits and turn on the passive income. Tune in to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
2019 pricing. That means in just about everything you do, the price goes up a little bit the next year. Things cost more. This year, Darren at Rhino Shield is holding his prices to last year's levels because he knows people are dealing with different issues during this whole pandemic. If you were thinking about getting the outside of your house painted, don't. Get it Rhino Shield. Have a Rhino Shield put on the outside of it. This is this exterior ceramic coating. So don't wait. Get on the list now, right? Get it done while the getting is good, and you don't have to worry about the outside of your house or your business or your condo or your church. Go to 877-25rhino.com. Darren's got a lot of pictures, before and after pictures of the hundreds and hundreds of properties in the greater St. Louis area that he's gone out and put this outstanding product on. You'll be glad you did, and then you get a 25-year warranty. 877-25rhino or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't miss Matt Walsh, the Daily Wire's young, influential conservative voice, when he comes to St. Charles for Vitae Foundation's annual pro-life event on Thursday, October 29th at the St. Charles Convention Center. Walsh is passionate about the value of life, and so is Vitae. Vitae's messaging promotes a culture of life while connecting women facing unplanned pregnancies with life-saving resources. Reserve your seat today for the October 29th dinner event by going to adsforlife.org. That's adsforlife.org.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Up-to-the-minute traffic reports, so you don't have to keep looking at your phone. Dependable traffic on 97.1 FM Talk. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
There's a press conference happening right now that's kind of all over all the cable TV news and everything. And basically it is Dr. Connolly, who is President Trump's personal physician, just giving updates on like the symptoms he had and things like that. We've gotten through the important part of the announcement, which is the President Trump is heading out of Walter Reed Hospital today in about 3 hours or so. And they're saying, he was a little dehydrated Friday, and, he's been given some more hydroxychloroquine and all this kind of stuff, just details about his treatment. And one of the things they just said, Ryan, was that there's nothing that there's nothing that they can't do for him at the residence or wherever he's going to be. Basically, he would not have to be at the hospital to get the treatment that he needs at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's one of those things where you clearly had, kind of a mild case, which is typical of COVID-19. And so he's going to get out of there, which I'm sure is a security relief for, the Secret Service and everybody else, that he's back, whether it's going to be the residence or wherever the case is, to keep him safe. But he's got an entire medical team that's around him a lot of times. And at this point, they're just kind of going through all of his symptoms and everything.
Honestly, when we first heard that Friday morning or whatever it was, did you or really anybody really think this was life-threatening? I mean, did your mind go there?
My mind did not go there, but at the same time, my mind quickly did go, but people sometimes forget how old President Trump is. He is in his mid-70s. He doesn't come across as a guy who's in his mid-70s, but he actually is in his mid-70s. No, I've been in broadcasting long enough. I'm jaded enough that I'm not going to lie. The first thing that went through my mind, because it was very early in the day, my phone started going off like crazy with the news alerts, which normally they don't, but I guess it was enough of a breaking news that it kind of broke through my silence settings or whatever. And I rolled over and I looked at my phone. I'm like, oh, the president has coronavirus. Well, I know what my day looks like now, being in talk radio and everything. But immediately I thought, well, he is a little bit older. And when they were talking about him going to the hospital and all the cable news pundits and everybody, they were reading into this. What does this mean? Is this a dire situation? I'm thinking, he's the president. Of course he gets every precaution taken because he's the president.
Yeah, I did not think even for a second that there was going to be any complications for him. I'm glad that seems to be the case because I could have been wrong. But I do admit my mind did not go there. The first thing I thought was, is this serious? No. Okay. How does this affect him politically? Because that's kind of probably what everybody's doing at the same time. And it sounds jaded to admit it, but I didn't really know at the time, although over the weekend it became clearer to me, and you may disagree with this, that this may be a net positive for him. I don't know that the polls immediately are going to show that, but I do think that making him a sympathetic character is not necessarily the worst thing for him.
And he just tweeted out, Carl, that he was like, I feel better than I have in 20 years or something like that, which...
And Ryan, I know you're a stat guy, but the two world leaders that have had it, including Boris Johnson, both of their poll numbers went up in the following month.
Yeah, I did. And Boris Johnson probably had it worse than anybody because they didn't know. They legitimately didn't know if he was going to pull through.
But then it went down the following month.
Okay. Well, we was only a month.
We only have a month left.
Right.
So
Right.
The president timed, if all the conspiracy people out there, the president timed this perfectly.
Yeah. Boris Johnson was in terrible shape. I mean, he was really in rough shape. Now, he also had it very early into the entire wave of this, so that we didn't know nearly as much about it then as we do right now. But you had, Senator Mike Lee tested positive as well. Of course, now we've had.
Did Senator Tillis get it?
I have not heard.
I haven't heard that one either.
I don't know.
I'm not. I'm probably wrong on that.
But
I know two senators have it.
Right. And of course, now Kayleigh McEnany tested positive. And of course, we know the first lady tested positive. And there have been a number of people in the White House, which, the president has a lot of people around him, regardless of his political party. Their job is to help him administer the government. And I'm not talking about whether you agree or disagree, but it's not surprising.
3 senators. I was right. It's
really?
Tom Tillis of North Carolina, Mike Lee of Utah, and Senator Ron Johnson.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, we got a question or comment on the entire COVID situation. Hey, Dan, thanks for calling. Dan, you're on the air. What do you think?
Hey, guys, I have a question. I was kind of wondering how many Democrats in the Senate and or House have come out and said they've had COVID. I personally have not heard of any. It seems like it's exclusive to the Republicans, but I could be wrong on the Democrat side of that. But I find it very curious that I don't hear a lot of that, if anything at all, that those guys have gotten it.
Dan,
and, quite frankly, I don't believe it.
Ryan's fingers are typing furiously right now to try to find the answer for you. Dan, appreciate that.
Okay.
What is the partisan breakdown, Ryan? Or have you had time to search right there? What do we know so far?
I'm looking it up. It looks like Tim Kaine of Virginia, Bob Casey of Pennsylvania, both Democrats. This says that they've had it.
So that's 3 Republicans.
And I knew that there were
Democrats,
some that do. You know what? He's right, though. That caller's right. They don't get as much press when they get it because there's a sort of I told you so, ha that happens when a Republican gets it that makes its way through the rounds much more than a Democrat does.
Yeah. I think that's fair to say. And I would think even our Democratic friends who are listening would probably.
Ben Adams, Democrat from Utah.
He's a representative, apparently, not a senator. But
Okay, yeah. I think it's only the 3 senators in the House. That's in the House. Also, Democrat Joe Cunningham from South Carolina.
Okay.
Both had it.
All right. So, there have been some, but again, to the point there, that does not get nearly as much.
And Rand Paul was first.
That's right. Rand Paul was, he was sick. I think, I want to say that was April or something like that. It was
pretty early.
It was way back when he had it.
You know what's been interesting is the tale of 2 governors that I'm sure that you followed, Mike, just being here in Missouri, is Governor Parson had it, of course. Yep. And the situation that he had with his wife, where I think he had some symptoms, but she didn't, or vice versa.
Other way around. Yes.
Other way around.
She had some very mild symptoms and he had none.
And then same thing happened. Same thing and same time. to Governor Governor Northam of Virginia. And if you look at the press coverage of those two things, and it's an amazing case study because we're talking about two almost identical situations with his wife having it and him not having it as much. Same time, two different governors, Republican, Democrat. The Republican got pounded. They left Northam alone.
And let me rant for just a second here on that. And there's a huge number of things I agree with Governor Parson on. There's a few things I disagree with him on, but that's to be expected. But one of the things that the opinion writers in particular, not to mention social media, jumped all over, basically were yelling, ha, 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 told you, here's somebody who wasn't wearing his mask and he wasn't, taking it seriously. And I'm thinking, what planet are you on? Every single day he was on social media doing videos, asking people to socially distance, asking people to wear masks, asking people to wash hands. Now, early on, there were some events he went to and didn't put a mask on, but the past couple of months, he was basically doing everything that they were pointing fingers and saying he was not doing. So there was just it's not partisan, it's disingenuous is what it was.
Yeah, completely. Because if Governor Northam got it and he was doing everything right, then how did he get it?
Yeah. I mean, we can take all the precautions. It's not going to stop it. It might help your risk a little bit. I mean, it may, but the biggest thing probably more than anything is wash your hands, constantly. That's one of the things that from everything I've been reading, and I'm not trying to be a medical expert on this, the masks, they may reduce something, but we look at masks as though this is some kind of Captain America's shield against coronavirus. And the masks, there's no evidence that says they're that effective. My guess is that once we get done and through all of this, we look back, they're probably going to say, that sanitizing everything and washing hands is probably really what kind of slowed down the growth of this, especially once it went through so much of the population. And I'm not going to claim to know enough as to what is herd immunity and what is not. But I think that probably has as much keeping everything cleaner and more hygienic probably have made more of a difference than anything else.
I found more out.
You did?
In the House and Senate, 19 people have tested positive since March.
Okay. Is there a breakdown with Republican, Democrat?
This is a nonpartisan site, so
okay.
no.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we want to know.
But 72%, I'm sorry, 72 people out of the 535 have been in contact with all of these people. And some senators, some people caught it from each other.
Sure.
Because Louis Gohmert had it. And he actually passed it on to Representative Raul Gravalia from Arizona.
Got it. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, since we took that press conference there for a little bit and just heard the news from Dr. Connolly, I think his name is.
Yeah.
What was fascinating to me, Carl, you said that not only was Fox News carrying this, because that's what happens a lot, is the president will do a news conference, and if it's Kayleigh McEnany or it's the president himself standing outside a helicopter, Fox News will take it, but nobody else will because they don't want to let him get his message out, right?
Right.
So this is an opportunity where you said even Channel 4 locally was carrying it, right?
They broke into Let's Make a Deal, the
Right.
children's edition.
Now, if you break into Let's Make a Deal, then you know it's serious.
And you're going to get calls because that's usually why they don't. If I don't know if they would have done this an hour earlier, if they would have broken into Bold and the Beautiful, then the television stations do not like getting calls when people's days are ruined.
One of my first broadcast jobs is I was a master control operator at KMIZ TV in Columbia. And if we broke in during a soap opera for anything that was breaking news, oh, God help you with the calls that you got. And one of the worst experiences I've ever had is I was working on Easter at the master control when a terrible thunderstorm moved through, knocked our tower down during the 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston. They would not accept that literally our broadcast signal was on the ground. And I got to tell you, those little old lady, church ladies, trust me, they knew the words that they don't say during the sermon, because I heard every one of them during that night. It was remarkable.
Well, I think the point that I was trying to make, just knowing how many stations are carrying this and how much interest there is in it right now, is that this is a tremendous opportunity for Trump to sort of reset his message. Whether that means he actually changes his message or not, he's going to have a huge platform here to talk about something. And I hope that he focuses on not only the health aspects of it, but how do we move forward as a country with it and with the economy, especially. I think that would be a win for him.
All right. The number here is 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. I'm Mike Ferguson in for Annie Frey. It's 2:38. Do you have a Bob Gibson story or experience? Let us know. I've got one. I'd love to hear from yours as well. Of course, the great Bob Gibson, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. He passed away over the weekend. Another blow for Cardinals Nation. All right, we'll talk about it just ahead.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. You're not the only one working more from inside your home. So is your HVAC system. If your system needs service, Air Comfort Service will promptly and safely be there for you. Visit aircomfortservice.com. Dr. Ryan Cleland at Infinite Wellness Center in Edwardsville, Glen Carbon is the go-to when it comes to dealing with that joint pain that's been plaguing you. And you're somebody who is trying to get around, you're trying to be independent, and that arthritic knee, it starts to get in your way. If you have this joint pain, is it slowing you down? Well, mention my name, Annie, when you call 618-655-0333. That's 618-655-0333. When you mention Annie, you're going to save 25% off for listeners of this show. Plus, it's equal up to $1,000 off of care. Regenerative medicine protocols, including stem cells, can be used to help you and rectify this problem so you can avoid that surgery that might have been discussed down the road. Also, keep you away from those dangerous medications and another steroid injection. 618-655-0333 if you are looking to get this problem taken care of and keep you away from some of those less savory options that you may have discussed with your doctor. Dr. Ryan Clun is the best in the business. 618-655-0333. Mention Annie, infinitewc.com.
It's cash for clunkers when you upgrade with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. We'll haul away your old garage doors and give you instant credit toward the new one. What are your old clunkers worth? $150 for a double garage door, $100 for a single door. Cash in on your old opener and entry door too. Don't miss Cash for Clunkers in October at Overhead Door. Trusted by homeowners in St. Louis since 1926. To schedule your free estimate, call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. It's already October and the leaves are falling. If you're still thinking about that perfect home, it's not too late. And with mortgage interest rates in the twos, you have so much more buying power. At the Home Loan Expert office, we can get you pre-approved and locked in the same day and have you closed in 30 days or less. Enjoy the holidays in your new home and get pre-approved today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Attention St. Louis homeowners. Are you looking to sell your house without all the stress? Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis can buy your house cash and close on your timeline. No commissions, no repairs, no appraisals, no showings, no headache. Call Chris now, 314-782-7000, or go online to chrisbuysHomesSTL.com to get a free no-obligation cash offer for your house. Behind on payments? The tenant stopped paying the rent? The house needs too many repairs? Not a problem. Chris buys houses in any condition and deals with any situation. There's a reason why Chris Buys Homes is the most trusted home buyer in St. Louis. Go online to get your offer today. chrisbuysHomesSTL.com or call 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000.
Celebrating 20 years of the Dave Glover Show on 97.1 with the DGS's greatest hits. Brought to you by Michael's Flooring Outlet.
Thanks, Bella.
Yes.
Hey, I'm about to put you on with Dave. Now, you brought up something about him making fun of handicap.
Yes.
Did you know that Dave is handicapped himself?
I do believe he's handicapped between the ears.
Well, granted, I don't like him any more than you do.
I don't know what I would say that would be offensive, except that I'm offended by the way he talks about handicap.
Another thing, do you know what a hair lip is?
Yes.
All right, he has one.
Okay.
Do you know what clubfoot is?
Yes.
Okay, both. Both feet are club feet.
Okay.
Are you familiar with hot dog fingers?
I don't know what game you're playing, but
Just stay away from hot dog fingers.
DGS 20. Listen. Mike of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Proud to be Dave's first live endorsement and being part of so many sweet memories for the past 20 years. Thank you again, St. Louis and the Dave Glover Show. 97.1. Rock on. Check me out. IGotFloored.com.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
I have an old convertible. I'm driving up the interstate, and I noticed people are looking at me. A couple of them pointed at me. I'm thinking, oh, they're admiring my car. I'm out driving today. I'm so cool. Look at me. I left my mask on.
You know, just ignore that.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
I don't know. Okay, I thought this was Here I Go Again.
It's a different version.
Version of it.
It's got like a
little organ.
church organ.
Yeah, exactly.
David Coverdale on Twitter is hilarious.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
This becomes Here I Go Again on my own?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I've never heard this version. And we all know that when it comes to 80s rock,
you've heard everything.
I'm the expert.
They must have just done this today. That's why.
I'm curious.
Does it pick up?
No, it's just the church version.
Nope. No. All right.
Man, okay. All right. By the way, it's 2:44. The DGS coming your way in under 20 minutes or so. I'm Mike Ferguson in for Annie Frey today. Annie will be back tomorrow. Over the weekend, let's end on something that's not political, but still, you can't say lighter because it's just really sad. We lost Bob Gibson over the weekend. But if there is anything that you can say is ending on a positive note, is the impact that he had. You know, not just baseball. Literally, they rewrote some of the rules in baseball because of Bob Gibson.
6 inches off the mound.
Because he was so dominant in 1968 that they changed the dimensions of the pitcher's mound in order to try to give batters more of a chance against him. And Carl, you said you actually have a Bob Gibson story.
I do. My grandfather was the team physician for the St. Louis Cardinals in the 40s, 50s, and 60s until he died in 1968.
Wow,
yeah.
That's cool.
His predecessor was Robert Hyland Sr., and then Robert Hyland Jr. used to run our sister state. You might have heard of Bob Hyland.
I've heard of him.
He used to run our sister states, but his father was the doctor for the Cardinals in the early half of the 20th century. And then my grandfather from 40s, 50s, and 60s till his death in 1968. If you read the book, October 1964, from David Halberstam, it tells a story about that amazing season in 1964. And there is a section in there about how my grandfather saved Bob Gibson's arm after something happened, and my grandfather saved it.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for that, they wouldn't have won in 64 or 1967. I got to talk to Bob Gibson once, and he said if my grandfather died in September of 1968, right before they went to the World Series against the Dodgers. And it was said to me that if my grandfather had been alive through that series, they probably would have won in 1968 because it was such a dominating performance. He pitched 3 games in that, unfortunately losing game 7, but they told me if my grandfather was alive, they probably would have won that.
Wow, that's quite a testimonial.
Because he was a great boon for the team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Ryan, with all of us, obviously, you know, he retired not retired before we were born. I think he quit playing in 70
something,
3, 4. I was alive at that point, but obviously not old enough to remember anything. Did you have any favorite stories or interactions or anything with Bob Gibson, Ryan?
Tell you what, the interesting thing about him to me is that growing up, I always would hear about Bob Gibson. I have no personal, I've never met him, which is odd. I've been in media in St. Louis, for quite a while and met quite a few former players. Never met Bob Gibson. So I don't have any personal testimony, but the only thing personal to me is how much the generation above me would just glow about this guy.
Yeah.
And you constantly hear, and you're hearing it now, you're hearing many people talk about it now. So I can't really add much to that. But that's my only experience, is that other people who experienced his career, I'm assuming, just say it was amazing.
Well, Yadier Molina got emotional talking about it once
Jack
the news had
Flaherty.
come out.
He must have been a
Flaherty
great
did too.
guy.
Yeah, and I had a chance to meet him a few times, but we'll get into that in just a second. Looks like Tim's got a story as well. Hey, Tim, thanks for calling in. What's your Bob Gibson story?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Pretty good.
Hey, I had a autograph signing about 10 years ago down in Sullivan, Missouri. I went down there with my cousin, and in the line in front of us was a young photographer for the Washington paper. And
Oh, I think we're
Tim?
losing him. I think we lost
Call back,
the
Tim.
cell. Yeah, Tim, give us a call right back. I want to hear the rest of the story there.
You have a story, Mike?
I do. Okay, so I had a chance to meet him, like I said, a few times, and at a previous job, I was communications director at a organization that was able to have one of those annual thank you donors, come up to the box that was, I don't even think we rented. I think it was donated, but I'm not sure about that. But basically, all these donors would come up, and we'd have several Hall of Famers, and you got to mingle with them and get an autographed baseball and all that kind of stuff. And usually what happens at these things is that people come in and they're excited to meet the Hall of Famers. And then they get their picture with the Hall of Famer. They put it on Facebook. They have a drink and they leave.
They don't stay for the game.
They don't stay for the game, which, by the way, annoyed Bob Gibson from what he told me. Because he wanted to know right away, because I was warned. They said, listen, this guy can be, he can be prickly.
He was notoriously, he did not suffer fools.
Correct. And what I figured out is that once he figured out that you were actually a baseball person and a fan of the St. Louis Cardinals, and that you actually went to games and didn't just show up for a picture, he was really pleasant. But here's the story. So I'm at one of these things, and we're third or fourth inning into the game. Everybody who has stayed, a lot of the people have already had their drink, got their baseball, got their picture, and they left. Or the others were actually out in the seats and they were watching the game. And so I was taking care of a couple things, and I ended up at this kind of high top table with Bob Gibson and Ozzie Smith. And he's eating his dinner and he's having a glass of wine. And Ozzie, who would, by the way, you've heard about how nice of a person Ozzie Smith is. Oh my goodness. Every bit as nice as everybody says he is. It was really a pleasant surprise, because I grew up just loving Ozzie Smith. And he asked me, about me and my kids. And I mentioned my kids in college. He started teasing me, saying, man, you don't look old enough to have, like, you have kids in college. And I think I was 45 or 46 at the time, just a couple years ago. And Bob Gibson says, 40, whatever. He says, man, Ozzie's got underwear older than you. And they had a good laugh. Ozzie Smith says, yeah, well, Gibby's so old that he played against Satchel. And he starts laughing, and I start to laugh, and Gibson didn't even look up. He goes, oh, I did play against Satchel Paige once. And so Ozzie Smith and I look at each other. We're like, what? What? And he says, yeah, in the minor leagues.
Satchel Paige was an old guy.
Right. And so he said, yeah, in the minor leagues. He said, I was coming up, and he was obviously very late in his career, but we actually pitched against each other in the minor leagues once. And he starts telling the story of pitching against Satchel Paige and just the phenomenal skill that Satchel Paige had and the way people treating him. And it dawned on me, there are 3 people in this conversation.
And you're one of them.
Bob Gibson, Ozzie Smith, and some guy who should not be in a conversation with those two talking about something like that. So I just keep my mouth shut and just thank God that I'm able to hear this story from this particular person who, is such a legend, not just to baseball, but honestly, any kind of sports culture in America as well. And so, I'm just like, that stuff's not supposed to happen to people like me. I'm just a guy out here, but I ended up in that really lucky circumstance and just, got my picture taken. I've got a few baseballs with his autographs.
Oh, so you still got a picture. You were still one of those guys.
Well, sort of, except I stayed through the whole thing, and I just wanted to pick his brain about baseball, which, he liked. And
Mike plays catcher, so they looked at him as an equal, Carl.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
No. And if you even ask Tim McCarver, Tim McCarver says, yeah, sometimes I don't. They were great friends, but Bob did not like to be bothered during games.
No.
When Tim would come up to the mound, Bob would be like, "Get back!
That's
Get
right.
back behind the plate."
And he would say it in terms that we can't repeat on
Mhm.
here if the stories are be believed. No, but it wasn't. No, definitely not equal by any means. I mean, I never got paid to play. I was okay for my age group, and I'm okay for my age group now. But nothing like that. You just when you're in the presence of all of these guys, whether it's baseball or business or politics or theology or whatever it is that you're passionate about, and you come across somebody at that level, just listen, ask a question, and just listen, just learn. That's really the best thing you can do. All right, I think we got Tim back here.
We need to apologize to our people watching on YouTube because Mike's phone has died.
It just went out of the camera. That may be a relief to a lot of people. I don't know, but yeah, my battery just ran out a few minutes before the end of the show. Hey, Tim, thanks for calling back in. Okay, so you're at an autograph signing about 10 years ago, and that's where we lost you.
Okay. Yeah, it was me and my cousin, and there was a young reporter from the Washington paper. It's actually one of their photographers, and he was in front of us, and he wanted me to take a picture with him and Gibson. And I said, yeah, sure, I will. So he gets up there, and he leans over the table. Gibson's got his back to the wall behind this table and tries to put his arm around Gibson to get this picture. So I click this picture off, and Gibson slaps his arm away and says, "Get your hand off me, boy. What are you doing?" And I was like, oh my gosh, that picture had to be priceless, because the look on the kid's face he was shocked. He jumped back real quick. But I'd always heard that Gibson was really fiery. And so, yeah, it didn't really surprise me. I mean, he was kind of, the kid should have stayed on the other side of the table.
Yeah. And that's, and Tim, appreciate appreciate that story. Cause yeah, we get the other side of that. I mean, so many times if somebody's in, the public eye and they're an actual, I don't know, celebrity or whatever it is, so many people just think they have the right to touch them or go in. And I mean, I'm telling you, Bob Gibson was what, 80, was it 84, 85 84 when he passed away. So I talked to him after he was in his 80s, and I'm telling you, I would not have messed with the guy then. I mean,
that's funny. I've never heard that about him. I've just heard, nice stories. I didn't know that he was.
I'll tell you a good one off the air.
Okay.
Ryan.
we were told he'll decide whether he likes you or not. And if he likes you, it's all great. If he doesn't like you, he'll tolerate you, but you're going to be aware. And the reason that he would not tolerate you, like you said, Carl, he did not suffer fools. If you came across to somebody who was not there in any sincere way, they said he's going to pick up on it really fast. And he just was a no BS kind of guy, which I can respect in a huge way. I mean,
I don't know if it's like this in other cities, but it really does seem like if you're a Cardinals Hall of Famer, or even if you're just a player and you stay in St. Louis, there's a strong club, community among all former players in the city. Maybe that's the way it is everywhere, but I know it is here.
No, I don't think it is the same way everywhere.
I believe he lived in Memphis and would take his RV up here to go to baseball card shows. And so I think the Cardinals wanted to fly him, and he's like, nope, I'll just bring my RV up.
That sounds like maybe the most fun thing that anybody's ever done.
Yeah, but
I'm a celebrity. I'm just going to drive my RV around to baseball card shows.
I'm a Hall of Famer, Cardinal Hall of Famer.
What a life.
Hire somebody to drive, sit in the back, watch TV, whatever the case is. But I will say the one thing, and I'm not saying this just because I live in St. Louis, but there does seem to be something very different about the St. Louis Cardinals community, especially of alumni.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Blues alumni as well.
Yeah.
The Blues, besides Toronto, where, Hockey Hall of Fame is, have the most alumni living in any city.
That's interesting.
Wow, that's fascinating.
All right. The DGS coming your way here in just a couple of minutes. Thank you for all the phone calls and the messages. Not all of them. I'm a big fan of what I was saying, but that's what talk radio is all about.
Annie's thanking everybody. Annie chimed in on the YouTube channel.
Thanks, Annie.
And Facebook.
And once again, Annie will be back tomorrow.
Yeah,
all right.
Will.
All right. DGS coming your way. Thanks again, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
My front teeth, and I got bad tattoos you won't believe. So
you're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
Pour another glass of that rock and roll. Turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not a